Alright, boys. I'm up. I'm Adam. I'm around. I'm coming. Give me just 1 second, boys. Here we go. We're gonna get going here. We're gonna get going. Thanks everyone for coming out. Hope we all enjoy this stream today. It should be short, sweet, to the point. Hey everybody. Nice to have you. Sorry, I just got out of the shower and I was like trying to dry my hair and everything. It's very nice and bright out today. Got the window open. Great to see everybody. Let's get the music turned down here. Get the music nice and turned down. How's everybody doing today, huh? We got just a couple minutes here until the Q&A starts. We have approximately 15 minutes. So we're going to be doing a little bit of stuff to kind of waste the time in the meantime. And we can do some Q&A of our own while we're here. I'll tell you what, we got about 10 minutes or so until the dev Q&A starts up. So let's go ahead and start out with a little bit of, how about a little bit of Darth microtransaction Q&A, huh? Alright, so starting with the Q&A in the chat, how's everybody doing here? We got, like I was saying, we got approximately 10 minutes until the dev Q&A. So in the meantime, we'll have a little chat here starting now. Go ahead, if you have any questions for me, we can go ahead and do our own little Q&A while we're waiting on the devs. So go ahead, put in the questions. I'll be answering stuff as you put them in. All right. Dauntless Win. I'll probably check it out this coming weekend. What's the name of the song you wrote? I wrote a few of them that have been on here, but the one you're probably thinking of would be called Revan Blues Synthwave, and it's on my channel. You can find it. Are you human or are you dancer? What phase of the Sith for Darth Revan? He performs best in 2 and 3. He also does okay in 4. You know, honestly, he does about the same damage no matter where. Honestly, it's not terrible. What's your favorite beer? That's a good question. So there's this restaurant called Moose's Tooth in Anchorage, Alaska here, and they do a beer that is their raspberry wheat IPA. That's like a homebrew, and that's got to be either my favorite beer or close to it. That or the Solstice IPA. What else we got? Remove one character from Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. Who is it? Nest. Why has EA forgot about the fact that Star Wars Galaxy Heroes is a guild-based game? I don't know if they forgot about it as much as they're having problems monetizing it. When you think about everything that has been guild-based that they monetized in the game, it's something with competitive nature. So if you look at things like, well, let's use Territory Wars as an example. Territory Wars, when they started out, it's guild versus guild for great Zeta rewards and all kinds of stuff, right? Well, it was nuts in the beginning. People were gearing for it because it's competitive. Like, you literally have to beat the person next to you. And then we had Heroic Sith Raid came out where they had their best month ever. The wife's texting me. Okay. She should be home in an hour or so. So, now where were we? Okay, we were talking about Territory Wars, and then we were talking about the Heroic Sith Raid. So the Heroic Sith Raid was their best month ever in March 2018, and that was not because guilds were being competitive against other guilds, but they were competitive with each other. So I think what they realized in there is that if you basically make another squad arena in the game, somewhere that gives you nuts rewards, but you have to beat the person next to you, because that's all squad arena is, right? Then that's where they make all their money. And I firmly believe that's why Grand Arena Championships are coming, is because they're trying to make us more competitive with each other. Most regretted Zeta. Ooh, that is a good question, man. Hold on, I got it open right here. Let's take a peek. I will answer that question. Do you think both Revan had bad impact on the game? I think that impact was going to happen regardless. I think that at this point in the game, it's been on long enough. The power creep's inevitable. Best beginner Zeta, probably Bastila's lead or Palpatine. Let's see here. Most regretted Zeta, probably HK47s. Honestly, I know that probably hiccups. I know that probably seems like a weird regret, but honestly, you don't need his. The extra damage doesn't really matter. He does insane damage anyway, and the bonus turn meter is not really that big of a deal. Other than yourself, favorite content creator? Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll give you the honest answer to that, okay? Because that's a difficult question to answer, right? The honest answer is I'm going to say Sir George's Games. And the reason I say that is because before I made my first YouTube video when I was like level 60 or something, and I was playing the game super casually, I ran into the Wampinator video. And the Wampinator video, for me, I was like, wow, like this tank raid is nuts. Like I had never even done the tank raid, and like they're straight up soloing the tank, and it had some of my favorite characters in the game in it, like Wampa, right? I think Wampa was my first huge goal. And I saw that, and it made me want to play the game. Okay? Like it made me want to have a goal. His video was the first Star Wars Galaxy of Hero content creator video I saw, and I give him a lot of props. Plus, when I only had like 100 subs or something, and I was just starting, he came on my podcast. Like I just asked him, he's like, sure. He just came up. He was just a really nice guy, so I'm gonna give it to him. Hey, there he is. He's in here. Hey, George. But Urs, you know you're my favorite live streamer. All right, man. You know how to entertain. Oh, that's awkward. George is in here now. He's heard me saying that I'm going to give it to him. All right, so now are we here for the dev Q&A? We got 8 minutes. We got a few minutes left. All right. TB's raid style formats are key to maintain people interested in the game. Again, formats where you interact with your buddies. Yes, that's not a question, but yes. What's the most underrated faction? Actually, I should give, speaking of Sir George Games, we need another mod. Let's add moderator. There you go, sir. Speaking of which, Urs, when are we doing our collab, man? We got to do some stuff together, man. I'll do it on your channel, you do it on my channel, whatever, man. I just want to do something with you. Why are we still here? We are waiting on the dev Q&A. So it opens up in 8 minutes. I launched the stream about 10, 15 minutes early, so we're kind of just shooting it, shooting the breeze right now. Here we go. Developer Q&A May 29th. Okay, it is up. Let me switch screens. Oh, hold on. All right, let's see what we got here. Developer Q&A is starting shortly. We've got a ton of good questions from the survey, but feel free to add more to this thread, or the survey will be starting around 2 p.m. PD. Reserved. Okay, who is who? So we have Carrie, Top Hat, Eric, 154M, and Cyanides. All going to be doing this Q&A today, and it looks like they're going to be starting any minute, really. Any minute now, man. Okay, I should put the headset on here because I can't tell if my audio is like going crazy or anything. We have Urs, Sir George, and Mike are all in the same place. Hey, Urs, Mike. Oh, Urs, you're probably at work, right, man? But you guys wanna hop in voice chat here? You're more than welcome to come on and have a chat. But you're probably at work, if I had to guess. DM's news chat is the most trusted source. Your trusted source for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes news. I actually have a suit. Like, I used to sell cars, so I have a couple of nice suits. And I should have wore it and then done like the, this thing where, we do like startup music and it's dun. Today we have, ow, I hit my knee on my desk. Sure, uno momento. All right, yeah, just hop in. I'm in my Discord here. Under the Micro's Busy channel. If you just hop into the echo chamber, I'll drag you in. You're in my Discord, right, Urs? If not, you can just call me. Let's refresh. Okay, last edited 1 minute. No, last edited now, basically. So he's slowly working on this stuff. Any minute. Why did they build the Stonehenge? Well, isn't that one of the great mysteries of our kind? So there's a few schools of thought, right? There's the religious symbol, because there's like the whole bunch of graveyards and stuff around it, right? Then there's the oh, it was a sundial. And then it was the landing pad for aliens. You know, there's like all the other crazy ones. I don't know, man. It's a calendar? The sundial, I mean, right? Some no interest in those sleep stories. I know, they've even made games about it, like. I hope to God that this Q&A is like quick, and because they already had the things. There we go. There we go. We got Urs in here. What up, brother?
Brother, how are you?
Doing good, my man.
You ready for this Q&A? We're gonna solve the secrets of the universe here.
Yeah. Okay. How much you want to bet me right now? They cherry pick the questions, and we get answers to questions we either already knew or don't care about.
Yeah, that's kind of. I mean, I don't know if you've taken a peek at Reddit. I know Reddit's a tough place to gauge the temperature on, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's like the top 10 posts there were all negative posts.
Not great right now.
Yeah, it's not great. So I have a hard time imagining that if they go corporate speak to the maximum here, I just can't imagine the feedback's going to be great, and it's going to be even worse than it was before. So they can't shy away from the hard stuff.
Okay, here's the thing: if they actually go out of their way to answer some of the like hard-hitting questions, I'm gonna be very encouraged. Right now, I need to be encouraged. I don't know about you, but if these people do something else to make me have no faith, I'm gonna be depressed about this game right now. I'm trying to be optimistic, I really am, but I don't know. I'm just so bored of it. I don't know about you,
as an endgame player, you log in each and every day, and there's just nothing to do. And you know, we both are streamers. Grand Arena's going away for right now, so what am I gonna do?
Yeah, yikes. They got to do the Grand Arena Championships, right? Which should be even like better.
Yeah, I mean, that was my guess. I did a reaction video to the news yesterday, and that was my guess. Is they're probably using the first part of the month to test either that or TB, and then probably mid-month they'll roll it out.
Yeah, that's probably right on the money.
Yeah. So, I don't know. You know, some of the people asked me earlier, you know, what I want to see announced today, and it's just like, well, some sort of acknowledgement of the power creep. That's a huge thing for me right now because, you know, we always talk about your favorite team in this game being that Rex team, and everything that's come out recently is just power creep upon power creep upon power creep.
I know, it's burying the fun teams. Like, that's my other problem is it's not even that I mind power creep so much as it makes everyone else useless. Because, like, it's like a ladder, right? You have, like, the top 10 characters, and then the character that's in top 10s gets knocked to number 11. You can do a top 5 list, and you can make an argument that COS isn't even on it. And when that happens, that's pretty disgusting.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just look at, like, I don't like how they've engineered not just a character to be good, but you gotta have all 5 of them. You gotta have this specific mix of characters that we've predetermined that is going to be synergized well. And then when it doesn't work out the way they want, you get things like the Palpatine nerf and Mallet coming out with the Sith Empire's specific anti-Sith synergy or whatever. So there's things like that
is when they do that too, it removes like my favorite part of the game, which for me, I'm a pack opening guy. Like, I want to open a pack and get a character. I can't buy chromiums in this game, like, because they're garbage, right? And the only way you can get it is by doing the legendaries and all that. So I've been playing this other game, Raid Shadow Legends, and basically every character in the game gets pulled just from like a normal shard. Like, you just buy a shard, you can pull legendary, you know, you pay $20, you get 30 of them, whatever, right? And all the characters in the game can be put together. You can even run 4 of the same character if you want. Like, it's so much better because you have huge champion diversity. You can theory craft your own stuff. But in this game, I feel like that died with Rex. Like, once Nightmares started happening, it just...
And the other comparison I'll make is, you know, a lot of the synergies that exist in this game, or a lot of the parallels exist in this game with Magic the Gathering, and that's something that I've played a long time. And in Magic, they just say screw it. They just say run with it. And when broken stuff happens, it just happens. And they errata things here and there, but it's you know, they allow for all this funky synergy and jank combos, and I love that sort of aspect of theory crafting.
Completely agree.
I mean, I had that old like anti-Treya team with Magma, and you know, just using that Treya ability with Chewy, getting a guard on Magma. And it was awesome. It's fun stuff like that they don't do anymore.
Sometimes the game feels to me like a single-player game we're all playing together. You know what I mean? It's like we're all doing literally the same path. It's just, okay, let's go pick up this character, and then go build this team, and then go build this team again.
Yeah, absolutely, buddy. So you got a nice audience here, 312 watching right now.
Yeah, kind of surprised so many people are curious about the dev Q&A. I thought I'd just pick a few people off my Discord, but it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, so they're supposed to get started here right now, right?
Yeah, essentially I'm keep hitting the refresh button here. It looks like they got the first couple questions popping up. They unlocked it. But
all right, we got here.
Any minute now, they're going to start answering these. If I actually had an account on the forum, I would put in some question. But
I thought didn't they say that they already got the submissions, or is it live?
You know what? I think you're right. He did say that in his previous thing, right? They had a link.
Because I would totally jump in here and ask him what the hell's going on with Grand Arena.
Yeah, so let's talk about that, because while we're waiting here, that's a big deal for you, right? I mean, you're a Grand Arena streamer. That's a...
Yeah. I mean, that is that's 12 nights a month that I have content to stream, and I get to be with my community, and we all to, you know, celebrate the love of the holotables.
The hall. I love it, man. The crappy part about that is you have some like super high quality content for Grand Arena. You know, like the intros for Beauty and the Beast. I die laughing every time I see that.
Thanks, man. No, yeah, I mean, you know, this is a creative outlet for me, just like it is for you, and to be able to sit down and craft that stuff, and you know, just be around guys that love this game and love Star Wars. That's where it's at, man. So, I've seen you've kind of slowly pivoted over to covering other stuff with Raid and Subnautica.
Yeah, I've been trying some of the other stuff. I gotta get those Subnautica episodes out. I was gonna edit them because there's probably some questionable YouTube content in a couple of those streams. But yeah, I'm trying to pivot over. But the problem is okay, there's 300 people in here? There's probably, out of the 300 people, there's 5 or 10 people in here that want to see anything other than Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. You know what I mean?
Right. So, I wouldn't sell yourself short, man. You're growing like crazy, and I think you've got a very unique style and look, and the whole thing.
It's all the hair. I'm getting backpacked by the hair. All right, come on, Crumbs, man. Answer the questions. It's 2 p.m. We're all waiting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of... My expectations in the next hour, or however long this goes, is that they have some pretty bold statements, bold proclamations on the future of this game. I can just tell you, man, we always talk, me and Micro talk pretty much directly, pretty regularly over Discord. And one thing we always talk about is we look at all the analytics of all the other GameChanger and YouTube content creators, and we kind of talk about, what's happening and the trends that are taking place. And really, it's Arnold and Micro, the ones that are really growing pretty good still.
Arnold's a god, man. I watched his videos because I was trying to learn. I'll be honest. I was kind of like not a hater, but I was one of the guys who, you watch the content creators and you're like, fuck this guy, right? But once I got into it, I realized, like, no, I'm the asshole. Like, it's just people making videos, right? Because now I see it from the other side. And then I started watching Arno. I tried to watch him, like, studying somebody who I respect in the same work field. Because it's like, this guy's a beast. He's getting gains that is unparalleled in anybody's channel. And he gets ridiculous views. So I started watching him, and it's his editing, man. He's so good at editing.
Yeah. And that dude is on another level when it comes to editing, for real.
Yeah, he can pump them out like that with good editing too.
Yeah, he's very in touch with the YouTube style and how things are presented on YouTube. And when it comes to distilling information down, that's like where I think he's just the best out there, is because he can absorb all the commentary on Reddit, distill it into a 10-minute video, put a nice bow and presentation on it, and it's just fantastic. So
yeah, props to him. Man, it's a nice Alaskan day out here right now, man. I got the window open. Sun's kind of hitting me, but it's like a small cloud only where the sun would be, so now I'm not getting it.
Yeah. What part of Alaska are you up in?
I'm outside of Anchorage.
Okay. Nice, man.
Just kind of down the road from it a bit.
339. Get some shout outs here. Need my hall people. Yeah. Oh, where are you at?
Here we go. We got our first question. Okay, here we go. CG carries response. Question: will you ever add multi-buy to Bronzium data cards? Okay, good question. Carrie responds, says, there are no plans for this. I think we get this question at least a few times a year, but the short of it is when ally points were used in the currency of the old tournament system, that was a big mistake that we made. We turned off tournaments. We didn't feel like we could take away the currency that was granted, even though we didn't want it to be used to open Bronzium packs at that amount. Basically, they didn't want you getting all the free stuff. We probably should have then, but instead have decided to let it sit and find other ways for you to spend large amount of ally points via the weekly shipments. NR. We'll likely try the... Okay, who's NR? Let me real quick here. Okay, I don't know who NR is, but she said it's NR, we'll likely try to find other ways for you to use large amounts of ally points and something that's meaningful for where you are in the game. What do you think about this response, Urs?
I'm all right with it. I mean, tournaments, I love tournaments, minus the cheating. That may have been pre your time, but tournaments were super fun.
That was before me.
Yeah. No, I'm good with it. I mean, I've been buying the stun guns and the, golden eyeballs, whatever shows up in weekly shipments with my ally points, and those are bottlenecks for so many gearings. So why not, right?
Yeah, I think this is kind of the answer that everyone expected. Personally,
yeah.
Here's what I think. My take on it is basically what she's touching on here. Even though we didn't want it to be used to open Bronzium packs at that amount, I don't think they wanted us to get the currency, because honestly, the currency you get from Shard Shop once you get in game and basically everything's just shard points, it's like a lot of gear. You know what I mean? And I think they don't like that.
Which is interesting, right? Like, I don't know. The people have been doing that for so long, though, and it's like, when they had that Reddit post about the stun gun comparison and like how you can get way more value by just buying stun guns out of the shop and converting into Shard Shop currency. Yeah.
Well, here we go, brother. We got another one.
Go for it.
All right. Question. On iOS devices, when attempting a territory war, the game shuts down going into a battle. When will we see a hot patch fix for this? Okay, that's a good question. I'm glad they're answering this one. Carrie responds and says, if you're on a very old iOS device, we're aware that the performance issues have been getting subsequently worse. We are seeing this in the iPad 2 and iPhone 4S in particular. It may be that we aren't able to maintain the performance for the number of players on those devices. There was an asset downloading stalling hang issue that got worse in the last update that we are fixing in Title Update 16, in parentheses, next big client update, in parentheses. But as we move forward, we may also need to start blacklisting or highly recommending alternate devices for those that are 6 or 8 years old. It's the nature of the growth of the game over time and things that we're going to add to the experience as technology evolves. So I have two takes on this, and I would love to hear your take. One of it is that this is not just happening on the iPad 2 and iPhone 4S. I don't know about you personally, but I have experienced this crashing issue myself, and I have the new iPad, and I have like a 6S. It's not like, well, the 6S is probably like, what is that? Oh, these days, I mean, where are they on the 10 or something? But I got, whatever the basic bitch iPad is from, last year. So I've crashed. And then the other take on it is that the rest of this honestly seems pretty reasonable.
I don't know. Here's my take. I have an old iPad 2. I've tried to run the game on that one time. It did not run well. Ended up buying an NVIDIA Shield tablet, which I've used the last three years of the game, and it's been totally fine. I would say the crashing problems with the game were way worse for me, probably in the first year and a half of the game. I don't know if it was the device. I was on like an old S4, Samsung Galaxy S4 back then, and then the NVIDIA. I felt like the crashing was way worse back then. Where I'm kind of scratching my head here, Micro, is I don't understand how. I mean, I look at this game, and I'm sure I'm not a developer or programmer, so obviously, preface that. It doesn't look that intensive to me. It just does not look that intensive. And then you see like the frame rate of Raid Shadow Legends. It's like, how do we get this at 60 FPS, guys?
I think it's the shaders is the thing, because if you notice, one of the last big graphic updates they did changed like the shading in the game, and I'm not an IT guy either, but as far as I'm aware, like shaders, shadowing, lighting effects tend to be like very graphically intensive, and I think ever since that update maybe it got worse. But again, at the same time, like you're saying, like there's other games that do not look anything like this. We're essentially playing a game that somebody made in Visual Basic and from like 2004, and yeah, I don't know, it shouldn't be that bad. But anyway, I'm not too mad at it. Yeah. All right.
I'll tell you right now, after 2 questions, these are not the questions I'm hoping for.
Yes, 100%.
I care less about
Yep.
random crashing and, bronziums.
Do not care in the least bit. Okay, so then he answered 1 question, 2 questions, and then he says question 4. I think he maybe forgot to copy paste one, but we'll go to the next one. There is a little sound that is heard right before most attacks. Is that meant to be sort of a dice roll sound effect as a result of playing the holo tables? I've never seen this. I don't play with sound on, so.
I don't know.
She says, while I love this explanation, our audio guy believes you're commenting on the UI click made by pressing the button. Alas, that was the intention. Okay, that's exactly what it is. You have yeah. Okay, so basically they just answer the random guy's question who didn't know what sound effect he was hearing. That's okay.
Okay.
Okay, moving right to the next one. I took a year break from this game, and as much my arena and my ship arena are brutally difficult. I see similar rosters as mine who rank in the top 10s and getting massive amounts of rewards while I am struggling. My question, how is this equatable? Will you guys address this type of issue? A struggling old gamer new to the new ways. Okay, fair question.
Yep.
Do you want to read the response for this one? Are you looking at this right now?
Yeah, I'm following along with you. We've been talking for a while about how to address this shard system, which began initially with allowing players minimally to change payouts, and larger conversations about how squad arena is the backbone for how people gain currency. We'd like to explore the nature of this, but really, really do not want to upset the apple cart that is people's current routine. I mentioned this elsewhere, but every day $300,000 worth of crystals is given out from Squad Arena alone. So changing that system is not something we consider lightly, if at all. We are talking a lot about catch-up mechanics, especially the normal influx of new players we see around movies and that we hope to see in Episode 9. So I expect that we'll explore something to lift you up rather than something that might affect others negatively as well. What is this NR thing?
It means, so Dagger answered that in the chat. It means not related.
As we've seen, as we've been discussing and hinting at more broadly, we're really trying to figure out how we can change the game from being all about squad arena, but it has to be a net positive for the player. If we're able to change that, then when you stop playing, you should hopefully not be as painful for you to return to the game. So yeah, I'm good with all that. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
I'm good with all that too. Something in particular I liked out of it was that they gave us an actual number of $300,000. I like when they give you like actual numbers, not a large amount or something. I like that. I don't like seeing people talk about squad arena payouts at all, because any change to that is like ruins the game. Basically.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's so many people that have just conditioned themselves to show up each and every day and do those 2 modes. So.
Yeah. What? Any further thoughts, or you got any?
Well, I'm glad that they reference Episode 9 here. They're talking about the future and then an influx of new players, so that's a positive for me.
Yeah, basically, it just kind of seems that I don't know about you, but what I read from seeing this is that she's basically saying, yeah, catch-up mechanics are probably not going to happen for a while. I mean, if they do happen, it's not going to be for a bit. Like, they're still in their theory crafting the idea stage, and once they come up with it, it still takes like 6 months to be implemented.
Yeah.
If I had to guess. Is there any more questions? They're kind of not. What questions do you want to see, man? Like, they're not really.
I want to know about the future, man. I want to know what they're going to do to fix gear, what they're going to do to fix the lack of content. Those are the things I want to hear.
Completely agree. Okay, here we go. Speaking of which, here we go. How will you balance out new content for long-term players while making sure new players don't have an insurmountable task to catch up? Here we go, brother. This is the question me and you want the answer to. All right, answer by Carrie. It's an interesting catch-22 because while we do want to move away from single meta teams, the existence of them has allowed people to catch up more quickly than they would be able to do in a diverse meta. Fair point. The way we think about the meta, though, is we are often exploring teams that have value for in-game players. For those operating in mid-GP brackets, we find patterns, in different player segments of different teams at the top, and we think about how you use those teams to graduate to the next tier of the meta. It's not a perfect science, but it's something to discuss and to try to balance for this reason. It is something to discuss. I wish you would have discussed it. What do you think?
Yeah. I feel like it was kind of a non-answer, but...
Yeah, that one... There's kind of a lot of... the last two questions are making me concerned that there's a lot of, like, ho-hum that's going to go on with the remainder of these.
Yeah. I mean, that's a non-answer right there.
Yeah, basically, that's an avoid. Where is the Lord Vader or Fallen Anakin, and what hint can you give us to start farming towards them? As always, we don't comment on the nature of characters we release and when. We know that because they released Malik with 2 days' notice. Thanks for not commenting on that one. And then Nick had Porkins-esque answer in here, and I'd like to avoid further Twitter accounts being made to her and seriously, get over it. I'm sorry. She actually put that in the dev Q&A. I'm sorry, but you're talking to the 5% of the population that actually follows your Twitter account right here. Like you're answering to everybody in the game. We don't need you to say I don't want Twitter accounts, fake Twitter accounts being made to harass you. Like we don't.
And I don't know why they would just hard decline Porkins, man. My man didn't do anything. He fought with the rebellion, man.
He died for the rebellion.
He died for the rebellion.
He's a hero.
He thought he could hold it. He's all right.
All right, here we go. And Eric answers, interesting factoid. The moment Anakin falls, he becomes Darth Vader. So that almost, you know what that sounds to me? That sounds to me like we're not getting that. Because basically they're saying there's no in-between, right?
Well, doesn't I mean, not to get all super technical lore on you, doesn't Pal refer to him as Lord Vader first? So couldn't they explore it there?
Does he call him Darth only after he claims the lightsaber crystal from killing that Jedi? Does then he become Darth?
I don't know.
Question for the lore experts.
Yes, we have many out there.
All right, let's refresh. Okay, another one here. Would you like to cover this one, Urs?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. You want to scroll down for me? Still seeing.
Yep, should be right.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so question is, what are you working on to include new players into existing guilds? I have friends that I would like to play with, but my guild won't let them in because they are too new. My suggestion would be a Padawan system in which new players could join friends' guilds. They wouldn't be included in the 50 cap, and there could be side missions during events such as Hoth that they could participate in. Win-win. And CG Carey says, we're talking about some kind of alliance/referral mentorship feature that gives existing players a chance to be in the driver's seat toward recruiting and training up new players and getting rewarded for it. We didn't call it a Padawan, but yes, Padawan system. I'm alluding to episode 9 as an opportunity for something like that, but it's very early in discussion right now, and we may need to end up going in a different direction. So this, to me, reads like, it's like when they asked Kathleen Kennedy about, Knights of the Old Republic movies, and she's like, yeah, that's on the drawing board, which...
Yeah.
A lot of things are on the drawing board, right?
That's what it sounds like, but I'm going to be an optimist on this one and say they're probably working on a referral system, if anything, because it's in their best... And I always think about what would they do to make money, and if it's a system they're consider implementing, would they make them more money? And I believe referral systems are probably... that would make them more money, right? Like you refer your friends into the game. They'd have to use something to combat like secondary accounts. Alt accounts. People make those already. But
can you think of any other mobile games in particular that have a referral system out there?
Raid Shadow Legends, I'm playing it right now. I refer people in, you get 3 slots, and you get significant rewards for those people leveling up. Both of you do. The people referred and the referee.
Very interesting.
Very good. A lot of games go this way, especially MMOs in particular. I mean, World of Warcraft was very you know, it was definitely Recruit a Friend was a very large program they did, going all the way back to Burning Crusades, I believe.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm okay with the answer. It is kind of a non-answer again, but no, you know, I think I'm just okay with that one for me anyway. All right, what we got here? Top Hat's response question XXX / name answer X. Oh no, this is like he's just preparing for the next.
Okay.
So to reiterate for me while we're waiting on this, here's how I feel about this so far. I feel like they answered a couple questions that don't matter, but I can understand them answering it, no problem. Mm-hmm. They answered one question in particular here with the guy who just doesn't understand the sound effects. That I don't know why is in here at all. But that's okay. I mean, maybe they just wanted to look nice answering a question to help player. This is a great question. I'm glad they answered this. Like, they had the balls to answer this question, but then they kind of didn't answer it. So I'm a little bummed there wasn't more in particulars about their plans. But I did like the fact they gave us an actual $300,000 number per day in squadron, because I was curious about that. So props for that. This here, the new player balance idea. It's kind of we didn't get any actual info, but I'm not really mad about it. I don't know. I'm okay with most of these answers, to be honest. I think it's not the answers that make me mad, it's the questions being answered.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that they kind of just gave the Heisman to the Fallen Anakin journey thing there. I mean, to me, that read like we're not exploring that at all.
Yeah.
Which that's been widely speculated about on our community for some time now.
There was that quote unquote leak of the Master Kenobi or whatever into the
Senator Palpatine and that whole deal. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got another one here, bro. Let's see. What is it?
Go ahead.
Okay, where are you? Here we go. What are your plans? Okay, good. This is a good question. What are your plans to make the game more interesting to new players? A 3 to 6 month leveling process of using very underwhelming tombs is quite painful and disheartening to the point where that overcomes the joy of Star Wars and Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Little things like reducing the challenge cooldown for those less than level 85 would help a lot. Can't touch. Oh, actually, this guy here is a viewer. I know this guy, Can't Touch.
We know him. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, good guy. He's in here a lot. A member of the community. I'm glad he got his answer. Okay, we got an answer. This is a great question. And let's see the answer. We added a quest system last May specifically for this purpose, and one of the big downsides was people were moving through the game too quickly and not learning how to play at the same speed. Okay, we'll answer that afterwards. This actually gave them a very negative experience, so they dropped out or be quite unhappy by the end game. I think some of the friction, albeit some unintentional, has created a gauntlet that makes long-term players so skilled. We revert some of those changes, and the newer experience ended up being better. However, I would like to keep working on it. I tell you what, while I'm collecting my thoughts, why don't you give me your opinion here?
Well, I mean, I would say if they're talking, here's what the long-term players have. They have 2+, 3+ years of learning kits and understanding the mechanics of this game. And a new player comes into this experience and read Revan's kit, and they're like, what the hell is going on here? This is way too complex. And I don't know, man. I look at it like that. Like, maybe they shouldn't have gotten so advanced and technical with the kits where, I mean, it's like brain surgery to try and figure this stuff out.
I think that's a fair point. You make a good point. Some of them are getting difficult. I completely agree. Here's what I see. I hate answers like this because I see a pattern of blaming problems on the players. Like this is basically they're blaming this problem on the player. It's we made a quest system. They're like, oh, we did that basically, but then people weren't learning the game because they were moving too fast. Like the leveling process is very slow, and you either learn the game by researching in the game, or you're a casual player who's just not going to learn the game because they're not taking the time and effort to put into the game. There's no this person that's trying to learn the game, but they can't because they're leveling too quickly. Like that person does not exist. You're making up a type of something that is just not true here. I mean, maybe they see some data or something where questing and all their new players' retention stats are down. Maybe they're seeing something I'm not seeing, and I can give them leeway for that. But I hate this answer, personally. This is my least favorite answer out of all of them.
Yeah, I mean, you're more in tune with the early games, so I've never gone through the early game experience. I mean, I've been since January 2016. I've been playing this game, so I have no idea what the quest system looked like. And if you're telling me, I mean, I don't know. I just think back to the amount of time I spent early game, like spamming the same character abilities over and over and over, and it was simple then. I don't know how much ramp up time you need to learn the mechanics of the game. I don't know, man.
I agree. And the other thing is they completely ignored basically what his questions. This is a very good question. And it says, like, reducing the challenge cooldown for those. Like, he's asking for quality of life buffs for newer players. And for me, the newer players should be the focus, because without newer players, eventually when the certain whales quit, we're not getting an influx of new whales and the game will die. Like, we need newer whales coming into the game. You can't always rely on the same older ones. And for me, I don't like this answer at all, because it seemed for me like the focus of her or whoever, it was Carrie answering, the focus of the person who read the question saw it as, I don't want to give new players more goodies. I don't want them leveling quicker. I don't want them getting more stuff. Like they're getting stuff too soon. And instead of realizing that's more of a quality of life, like the game is miserable for a new player. Make it not miserable. Okay, maybe I'm ranting too much, but I don't like that one, because I really like having new players having good stuff in the game. But anyway, all right, we got another one here. Okay, so question: with the overabundance of Knights of the Old Republic characters added to the game, will we be lucky enough to get expanded universe characters from the comics coming to the game? I know quite a few players that would love to play with the squad of Dr. Aphra, 000, BT1, Black Horse, and maybe Magnetolvin. Even I know 0 of these people. Even just on-off characters from the comic books would be great. Would love to be able to put Mr. Bones on my droid team. And the answer by Top Hat. Personally, I love the comic book characters, and I regularly try to find a place for them in the schedule. That said, we currently have no plans to introduce these characters into the game at this time. As always, we constantly think about future character releases and may consider these characters in the future. Love that answer. Concise, to the point, direct answer to the question. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that, although I wish the answer was they would explore adding expanded universe characters. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like they're not going to make money on expanded universe, so it's not really consideration.
That's fair. I get
that's
it.
fine. Would I rather have Dr. Aphra? Yeah, I'd like to have Dr. Aphra, but at the same time, it's like I know I'd much rather have a game mode that's going to at least allow me to use all these new characters I farmed up for the Revan events and for
I completely agree. That's the way it put. I'd rather have the dev time of making these random comic book characters put into a way to use the characters we already have. Great point. Okay, we got another one here. Do you think that walking stick Yoda uses Do you think that walking stick Yoda prominently? Oh, I cannot read this. Do you think that walking stick Yoda uses prominently in Seagoat's videos to poke R2 should be more strongly represented in game too? Did I have an aneurysm reading this, or is this not the most poorly worded sentence?
I think it's a sentence built on a reference that some people probably won't even understand.
I don't get it. Let me grab my... Someone in chat right now is laughing hysterically at this meme question, but okay, what?
You think that walking stick Yoda uses prominently in Seagull's video to poke R2 should be more strongly represented in the game? Yeah, I think he's talking about that lip-syncing video.
Oh. Okay. All right, well. Thanks for answering that one. Cool. How do you translate what a tune does in the movies to what it does in the game? Neck lip conned. Top Hat says, that's a great question and really hard to do in this format. We've explored some behind-the-scenes type content previously that was really well received by the community. We want to continue to lean into doing more of that. EO, what I can offer is that I'll work with Top Hat and Crumb to schedule a session where the designers can talk through their process and maybe field some questions in that space.
So I have a take on this. I actually think they do a fantastic job of building kits like Hermit Yoda, like C-3PO. I mean, that stuff is just super... I don't know, man. I think the kits are spot on with how they play in the game. Even like the reworks they've done with like Newt and the extort mechanic with Prophet. Like that's all high flavor stuff that is totally knocked out of the park in my mind.
I actually agree. I think thematically they do a pretty good job. Like, even the Knights of the Old Republic people, all of them except maybe Jedi Knight Revan were pretty on point. I mean, Bastila Shan was using meditation. Zalbar and Mission had synergy together. You know, and Zalbar was the tank that protected her. Right? There's a lot of... Yeah, I think you're right, man.
I would say that's better in the last year and a half than it's ever been. It's one of the things they're perfect. I'm near perfect at, in my opinion.
All right, we'll move on to the next one. Okay, let me see if we missed any here yet. Okay, we got all of these. They're actually answering a pretty good amount of these. I would like some more hard-hitting questions, personally.
Yeah, I don't think we've got the warm and fuzzy I'm going to need to be feeling good after this so far yet. I mean, I don't...
Oh, here we go. We got another one. Will you consider revisiting rewards from challenges, adding newer, high-demand gear, or upping the reward output? We've been looking into challenge rewards as the game gets older. I'm looking at you, Mace, but we don't have plans of changing the rewards anytime soon. Ideally, we release a new tier to the challenges with additional new rewards in the future. I'm okay with it personally. I think a new tier would be the way to go. I'm a little bummed that it's not planning to happen anytime soon, because that means it's going to be like a while. But I mean, what can we expect? They're not just going to give us another free challenge, right?
Yeah, this one's tough, man. This is in my mind, this is a very low-hanging fruit thing they could do, just adding another tier for each challenge. And you get gold eyeballs. You get, just one of the bottlenecks, just one. I mean,
just throw stun cuffs, man. Give me like 1 to 3 stun cuffs in addition to the Mace challenge, and I'm totally okay with it. That's it. 1 to 3.
Yeah, this seems like a very, I mean, again, not a developer. Seems like a very easy thing they could do. For goodwill.
Yeah. Okay, so far, I'm gonna be real, man. So far, I don't like this Q&A. Like, I'm kind of like, where's the stuff we want to know?
Yeah, I just asked your community here how they're feeling so far.
Yeah, let's read the chat.
Avanth says pretty underwhelming. Let's see, hey, Micro and Urs, they're answering too many fluff questions. Very underwhelming so far. Where are all the ships?
CG doesn't want goodwill. They just want your money.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is some softball league right here, I think.
Yeah. Lame, to be honest. Y'all are great, though. Urs, oh, baby. My man's lore.
I always remember his name because he's got the wackiest name.
Yeah. Meh. Political fluff. Boring so far. Most displeased. Yeah, seniors just pick up their pants. Yeah, I don't know, man. Nothing encouraging so far for the future of the game. I mean, they referenced episode 9 a few questions ago, so at least they have some sort of vision for the future. But
you know what question I wanted to see? I wanted to see a question like, now that the episode 9, trilogy is wrapping up, what's the length of the game? Are you guys going to be around for another 2 years? Like, answer something like that, right? Yeah. Oh wait, here we go. We got more questions. Okay. Work questions. Oh man, we had something happen. What just happened? Oh, Chris sent in $1. Hey, Chris, thanks for the $1, brother.
Chris living good. He's living good.
I have to add in the alert box. I forgot to put it.
Yeah.
There we go. Done. Here, man, I'll replay it for you because it didn't.
Give this man his shine.
Here, let me replay it for him. There you go, man. It should replay now. Any second.
Maybe your Streamlabs works better than my Streamlabs.
Oh, maybe it won't replay. I'm trying. Clicking the replay button. All right, well, you got gypped for your $1. Yoink. Yeah. All right, sorry. Okay, is Darth Revan and Malak the last of the Old Republic line, or can we expect more possibly? As mentioned in the last road ahead, our focus is the Clone Wars for the moment. Don't get me wrong, we have lots of Old Republic stories left to tell. Until we have Cam Val, I won't sleep, but I think we've done justice for now. Oh man, Vodek sends $2, says more whale sounds. You like my, that's my, me going,
I saw your new one, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a couple beers. I'm like, I need a new sound effect.
That's when it happens, man. Right after you drink a couple beers.
Oh, this doesn't. Let's see. Is there a plan to balance every character in order to make the game more fair and remove the meta teams? Something in between. Not every character in the game will be meta defining. Sorry. No! They called out our...
Whoa. Where's my gaffy stick? This is unacceptable, Carrie. And I can tell you right now, I'm not happy. It's problematic for Carrie.
It's a problematic for me. Like, what? The Tuscans, bro. Are you telling me?
Yeah. Where are my other 2 Tuscans here, Carrie?
And then Top Hat says, that's it, Tuscans are the next meta. Not really. They just put salt in the open wound, man.
Yeah, man. This has been a total train wreck so far.
This is the worst. Now I'm mad. Oh. All right. Okay, we got another... Oh, no, we already answered that one.
You got a $10 donation here from Anthem of the World.
Anthem of the World? Oh, my lord. Underwhelming so far, but I hope we get some more questions soon. Huge fan. Hey, thanks, Anthem. Look at that, Urs. I have a huge fan. Can you believe it? I actually have fans.
Man.
Am I at that point? I'm at that point.
Yeah, man. You can show this guy some love.
Hey, buddy. Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Much appreciated. All right. Okay. Here we go. We got another question here I think we missed. You say that meta diversity is important, but you seem to push 1 or 2 prescribed teams heavily. Will you allow more players more creative space in the future?
Good question.
All right, here we go, boys. All right, managing, cultivating a meta is a really interesting process. Players have to evaluate the meta a lot of different ways. Every time we see the most gravity of the meta discussion centered around Grand Arena, the number of viable squads therein. As Carrie has hinted at in our talked about, we're really trying to figure out how to shift the conversation to be more about the meta of Grand Arena and Territory Wars, which are more about the meta of squads versus the meta of a particular squad. Good answer so far. This is a roundabout way of saying we're absolutely trying to expand the play base, but in doing so, we're trying to shift the conversation out of Squad Arena into other areas of the game. This process necessarily can't happen overnight, and it is an incremental process because we don't want to pull the rug right out from under you, the way you know and understand the game. Right off the bat, I think Top Hat did a very good job answering this question personally. I'm okay with this answer. How do you feel about it, man? Why don't you give me your breakdown here?
I like the pull the rug out comment. It means they're being very deliberate in how they approach this. It sounds like, I read this as, guys, we're going to shift the crystals around here. So that's how I read this. And maybe I'm getting ahead of myself here. I think that maybe, because I remember a comment, I don't know if this was back, this was back when I was a GameChanger. I don't know if this ever made it public, but you know, they talked about never wanting to add crystals to the game, and I don't know if that's something they still subscribe to. I don't know if that was a Republic, or I just don't know. But to me, this sounds like they're going to move crystals around, and
that's interesting.
Incentivizes you to move stuff, but they're not going to do it like super quick. And I like that approach from Top Hat.
I can see what your point is, because the previous question we read, where she talked about the $300,000 given away at Squad Arena, you know what? I like reading between the lines. So I get it's $300,000 given out, but what that means is she's been looking at that data recently, right? Like, it's in her head. So she instantly comes up with that number. You know what I mean? Puts it into the question. Yep. So this is probably a topic that they have been talking about, which makes me concerned for the future of Squad Arena. But as the way he answered this question, I think I actually agree with the majority, if not everything that he's saying here. I think he makes good points. I think it is difficult to get him out of the Squad Arena. I do think that trying to balance Squad Arena is basically impossible, because there's always going to be one best team. That's just the way games like this work. And then the best way to get out of that is to, do other type of game activities. Plus, Squad Arena means the most boring thing. So. And
another thing, Micro, that we should probably address here is the reliance on shard chats. We're both in our shard chat, I believe. You're in yours, right?
Yeah, very friendly shard chat.
And like I've been rolling with the same crew of guys for 3 years, and every shard chat is managed differently. And I would feel like crap if I like Mobile Gamer. We all know that mobile is rogue in his shard. He gets picked on all the time. Yeah. Like, I would feel like crap if I was genuinely nice to these guys and they didn't allow me to compete with them. So I think de-emphasizing the reliance on, Squad Arena for crystal income, that's a pretty important move to the long-term health.
What if I hit you with this? What if they just stay with the crystal income like it is, but they add it somewhere else?
Yeah, I would be good with that. And I mean,
or
at the
do you
same
really?
time,
Are you of the viewpoint that we should be switching Squad Arena crystals elsewhere into the game, like put in the raid payouts or something?
I think that Squad Arena should be introduced in some sort of, or sorry, crystal payout should be introduced in a lot of the PvE content. I think it's pretty not good. I mean, I think you get a little bit in TB, right? When TB pays out, don't you get a little bit of crystal bump?
You get a little bit there.
And there should be more things like that. I mean, because PvP is not for everybody, and they've never had that mechanic in this game. And I think they get it, accommodate a lot of people, and even encourage spending if they got, hey, if I'm going to get a higher threshold payout for working on some squads for a PvE game mode, I'll definitely do it.
That's an interesting point, because it's frustration-based spending is what this game really comes down to, and Squad Arena tends to be a large part of people's frustration. So I'd be interested if they nerf that. Wouldn't that hurt their income in the long run? That's what I would think, but I don't have data or anything. We got any questions yet?
I think the most interesting, the great point here is the most interesting thing is that $300,000 of crystal income. That is the data point here that stands out.
Oh, we got some good questions here, boy. Okay, I tell you what, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, and then we can come back. You can keep the chat entertained while I'm gone, and we can read this one. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Guys, what are you thinking of this Q&A so far? Let me know. And if you want a shout out, all I need you to do is give my man Micro a little donation here. Give him a little love. We got 461 here. Guys, tag me. Let me know who you are, and I will give you a shout out live on stream while my man is taking a leak here. Here we go, everybody. Boring. Sadly underwhelming. 2 out of 10. Not impressed. Crisco says it's getting better as it goes on. The Vodex, some good questions, some softballs here. Alonzo says, baby, it's a fire stream. Zip Trick says, me not too happy. Here we go, everybody. Belong says, how do you feel about having a card? What are we talking about there, man? What's good, says Jacob Bross. DPK, I've seen better Q&A in the hall. Boo says, this is how I feel about the Q&A. The hall is here. Look at the halls all checking in here, guys. I need you guys to give my man Micro a little love on the super chat. Come on, guys. 510 watching the paint dry here. No. We're here to entertain you. Me and my man Micro here. Here we go, everybody. 7 out of 10. Top Hat scene's on point. Yeah, Top Hat's had some good answers.
All right. I'm back here. What's up, man? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
All right, I am back. Okay, so did you read the quote? What I missed? Did you read the thing, or?
I'm just trying to get the hall or the hall.
The hall.
Your hall. Sorry, brother.
You're
fired up.
So we made the meme of it. Okay, so here's the thing. You inspired me because I love the hall thing so much. Every time you did the hall, I always crack up dying. So it's like I had to name it. I'm like, it's the whale pod. The whale pod. It's got to be.
There you go.
Go with the whale thing.
Yeah, you got to have a name for your community, man. That's like rule number 1 here.
I'm learning. All right, here we go. We got a great question, all right? Are there any plans to improve cheat detection for the game to curb game hacks / cheats, especially with the plans for Grand Arena Championships? That is a great question. Oh, boy. The hall is... It is up. Hey, Skywalker, thanks for the $2.79. Much appreciated, man.
There you go.
Much love to you. All right, what we got here? So the question. This is a great question. This is the question I wanted the answer to right here. I think game hacks, cheats are disgusting. I'm glad they're answering this. He says, we do have plans to improve our tools for investigating and actioning against cheaters alongside the Grand Arena Championship launch. Some of them are already live, some of them will be coming at launch, and some of them will be coming once we see how well our tools and processes work in our initial exhibition championships. We intend to share more about our processes and policies here in a couple of weeks. We have learned a lot from initial Grand Arena event system and are applying those learnings to the championship. Okay, so a few things stick out to me right away. One of which is a Dusk Lion sends in 5, says it's problematic in the hall. Oh, baby. Oh, God.
It's problematic in the hole.
Oh, there it is. So do you have this? Do you have the Stream Deck? How you do the sound overlays?
I got to go XLR, brother. We can talk about it offline.
Right,
it's great. You should get one.
Yeah, you gotta teach me how that works. Okay, so a couple of things stick out to me here. They do have tools for cheaters. They are already going to implement something at Grand Arena Championship launch, which is fantastic because we need that. We need that when championships comes. Like, we cannot have Grand Arena Championships and have cheaters. So I love that. I also like that he says a couple of weeks. Like, he gives us a time frame on when they're going to be coming out with more information on it. And the rest of this seems like pretty fair. You know, they're working on it. The Grand Arena Championships are coming. The improvements to be coming. Anything in particular you?
No, I'm glad they're saying they've learned a lot here. I mean, we've seen cheating be around for some time. There was cheating in raids way back in the day. There was cheating in tournaments. That was what put tournaments under. And it's good to know that they're getting more skilled at detecting that sort of thing. And I like that he calls the first GAC, Grand Arena Championship, an exhibition. So that'll take the pressure off. And if they find anything, in the hall, we're all about counting wins and losses. So if they find anything, they can address it without it really hurting too much of the integrity of the championship.
What's your win-loss rate on now?
I've got 11 Grand Arena Championships.
Very nice. I just lost my first one. I learned that if you place level 1 defenses and don't have mods and forget to attack, you will in fact lose.
Well, it's good to know that the system works.
The system works. It's weeding out the low lives. Okay, so question here. How do you plan to handle cheaters in Grand Arena Championships, especially with respect to those impacted by cheating during a given season? Another phenomenal question. They're really hammering in on the cheater aspect. I love it. It's an important topic. Mm-hmm. You want to read that answer for us there?
Yeah, see above. Without taking too much more of our talking about too much more of our policy, it's out in front of the community. We're going to be focused on quickly ensuring that a player affected by cheating does not have their entire championship experience affected. That they are able to move on without despair at the outcome of a single Grand Arena match. This is awesome right here. We will be firming up our make good policy around rewards to impacted players, especially when cheating is detected and confirmed until after the championship has ended. That is awesome. That is the perfect answer.
Yes, completely agree. I am totally okay with this answer. Nothing's wrong with that. We just have to see how it goes, I guess. But I'm glad to see cheating and cheaters of all sort being taken care of, because I have a buddy, Kyra Mobile, and in his shard, he's got one of those people that did like the credit card like scam things. Like they went through, stole credit cards, used them to buy stuff or whatever, and all that happened is the guy lost his Traya and his General Kenobi and his Han Solo. He took away the raid characters, but he kept all his mods. So the guy has like 171 speed or something like disgusting, right? I'm exaggerating. It's really like 165. But the shard it's like a year-old shard. And, he's got all the characters. He's like almost 5 mil GP. It's just, stuff like that just pisses me off, And they know he's a cheater because he was flagrant about it.
You know what pissed me off was when they released Gear 12 Plus into the stores, into the shipments, and people would go buy that stuff and get it refunded. That infuriated me. I don't know if they fixed that, but I had people telling me that they were, all you have to do is go in and buy this stuff, then just file a claim and you get it immediately refunded back. I'm like,
well,
and
the joke's on them because eventually they'll get in trouble for that. They'll get banned.
That stuff, I hope they can go back and look at that stuff. That stuff was ridiculous. And here I am, a guy that's trying to play the game, fair and square, and I have
and
my
these
G12
people
Plus is so limited.
refunding tens of thousands of dollars or something hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, do we got another question here? Oh, no, that's that one. Is there another one? Okay, let's refresh. Okay, I don't see. Let me zoom out here. I'm a little bit zoomed in. Let's see if we're missing anything. Okay, here we go. During a previous Q&A, the question was asked by me about entry to the GameChanger program. The answer was basically, stay tuned, more info on that topic coming soon. Any update? How can we gain access to the... to be considered for entry into the... what just happened? Hold on. Sorry, I did something. There we go. To be considered for entry into the GameChanger program, Meet City Gaming. I don't know this guy. Is he a YouTuber?
I think I've heard the name a couple times.
Okay. So Eric responds to thanks for the question, but fortunately we're not currently accepting new game changers. As you may be aware, we've had some restructuring at EA in recent months, and as a consequence, we will no longer have dedicated staff members to manage the Game Changer program. We've attempted to support the program as much as possible with the development team. However, this is in addition to our other jobs. We appreciate the Game Changers and the endless energy that have been brought to the community conversation, and absolutely want to work with the content creators moving forward. But we're in a bit of a holding pattern at the moment as we think through how to support a program properly and can staff it appropriately. So, you know what? You're a game changer. Why don't you give me your opinion here? My wife just walked in. I'm going to chat with her for a second.
Yeah. So, this is basically what we've been hearing since probably October of last year. We had a dedicated contact for a long time. That person is no longer with EA. So we've been using, Eric answers the question here. Eric is the contact that we interact with primarily. That isn't to say the program is entirely dead. We certainly have an open line of conversation with CG. The relationship is good with all the game changers, I would say, in terms of us being able to at least ask them a question. As of getting support for our test accounts, that sort of thing, I would say that's pretty minimal, pretty much on life support at that point. Some of the top guys like Arnold, I think they were able to get their account kind of fixed up and stuff. But I know a lot of the guys have been asking for shards here and there for their test accounts and haven't really received that kind of support. So I don't know. I would say that the program's in the exact same state it was probably 6 months ago, and I'm all right with that. I've obviously moved on to covering other things, and it's we have an open conversation, open dialogue with CG, and that's all I can ask for at this point. So no ill will.
Yeah, sorry, I missed a little bit of what you said there because I was talking to the wife, but I can tell
basically, TLDR is it's about as good a place it can be right now, and we have an open line of communication with them, and not a lot of support other than that, and that's okay.
Yeah, that kind of seems to mirror the information I've been given.
I would say if you're a content creator for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, your goal should not to be a game changer because there isn't really a whole lot you can do with that title right now.
Yeah,
your goal should just be like Micro and just do your own thing and put out fun content.
Well, as far as I'm aware, here was my thing. Okay, as far as I'm aware, all the game changers that I know currently are getting nothing from them for being a game changer. You also don't get paid. As far as I'm aware, none of you guys ever received a paycheck from them, so you're not really their employers, or they're not their employees. The only thing I've seen that would help promote the channel is the exclusive footage, and they were plugging some of the game changers in game, right? So that's the things that I would see would make me want to join the program. And as far as I'm aware, all of those things have ceased to exist. So the program, if I was a content creator, from my point of view, the program would be dead because you're no longer receiving anything, right?
So the last bit of early info we got was probably the Revan stuff. It was either Jedi Knight Revan or no, it was I want to say Darth Revan. We got a bit of early info on Darth Revan. I think it was the requirements, and we were given a time to go live around that. But other than that, to your point, I mean, that's basically it. I mean, and that all the other things, the in-game ad, never got an in-game ad. That has totally gone away, despite being promised one. Never got that, and that was the one thing. That and the trip to CG, those were the one things that I was enticed. I mean, I had my goals when I started my channel.
Did you get the trip to CG?
I never got the trip to CG. Despite them talking about a trip, the trip never happened. But, I've had Crumb tell me if I come out to Sacramento, he'll show me around and do that sort of thing. But, it's not like the trip that all the other old school guys got.
Yeah. To their credit, when I've talked to them, they seemed fairly nice, and they seemed like they did actually want to do something together. It just seems like the situation they got going on over there is not one where they can do that at the moment. So. Anyway.
And let me be clear, guys. I harbor no bad feelings towards CG or anything like that. I would tell you my channel actually got better when I was not relying on the Game Changer program. So,
I think if you just make good content, the people will come, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, in order to be a game changer in the beginning, you have to be making good content anyway. So just stay true to what it was you were doing. And
the other point is when everybody had a week to make a video, Jango Fett's coming out. And we all know it was like you basically got, 10 videos that were the exact same thing from, Nuke and Arnold, Mobile, myself, Operation Metaverse. Everybody put the same video out. And I don't know that's really beneficial to anybody.
All right, we probably covered that. That's a good answer, and we probably covered that topic. Let me see if I think there was a question here I saw. Hold on one second. Okay, this game is currently. This is probably what you were talking about. This game is currently oriented towards PvP content. GA and Territory War are modualities that require time and strategy, while raids and territory battles have become repetitive. Of course, territory battles will bring a fresh air to PvE content, but it's not something destined to last long. Don't you think there's lack of new PvE content that can always be current, interesting, and frequent in the game? And if you think so, do you already have something in mind? Thanks for your attention. This is the question for me. This is the one I wanted to answer to. Personally, out of all these, this is the one I care about the most. And let's see what he says. He says, I would say that is an obsession of mine, if not singular obsession. How do we serve up new, interesting PvE content consistently? We run into these two diametrically opposed forces in tackling this problem, time versus quality. Okay. While I'm sure there are a lot of choice words to be said about the Sith Triumphant Raid, I would hope we could all agree that all of our raids and territory battles have been carefully crafted with a lot of unique attention to the detail. There is room for improvement on all of them, but they are lovingly crafted by our designers, artists, and engineers, and serving up a regular, tailored experience. It is a timely endeavor, and while there are some potential engineered solutions, procedural generated levels, etc., I think in general my concern is that it wouldn't feel to the level of quality that we want to deliver to the players. Ultimately, our goal is to provide excellent Star Wars experiences, and that ultimately just takes a lot of time. What I can offer is that we are very aggressive in thinking about what our future PvE content looks like. We're already in discussions about what comes after Geonosis and making sure it doesn't come too long after. I have my own thoughts on this, but I'm curious what you thought, yours.
Procedurally generated levels, that is not a thing I'm into at all. Whenever I buy a game off Steam, if that's part of it, I don't know, for whatever reason, it just feels sort of hollow and not thought out to me. It feels kind of lazy in design. So I'm glad that they're not considering that at all.
Typically, those type of things tend to be what we call an inch deep and a mile wide.
Yeah.
So I agree. I do like to see, for me personally, the things I like to see out of this answer was I like to see that first, it's something that Top Hat in particular really cares about. Yeah, I believe he's being honest. I don't have any reason to think he's being dishonest with his answer. And if he cares about it a lot, I trust him to do a good job. For the most part, what I've seen at Top Hat, I think I have faith in the guy. And I think he's right about the raids. I think there's a lot of attention to detail, and I think raids are the best part of the game. And so if they do more content of the same lovingly crafted type of content like the raids are, I'm okay with it personally. I hope it comes sooner rather than later.
I would tell you, man, when the Rancor raid first came out, I was playing this game, and the amount of, I'd never imagined I'd play a thing like the Rancor raid like 1,000 times, literally sitting there an hour each time, like reducing turn meter with Tebow and Qui-Gon Jinn. But for whatever reason, it did it for me because there was like Ewoks turned into be a thing there, and it was super exciting. Like, I don't know, man. Like, that was like, who would imagine like Ewoks would have been this meta thing on this one niche game mode, and having Ewoks felt so special, and like you were coveted for having that in your guild. It was cool.
I completely agree. For me, unlocking Talisman where I could get the Zetas every month was... Oh, excuse me. We got a well spotted here. Cal Drogo sends up too and says, "Keep up the good work." Hey man, much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you for the contribution. And man, I totally got distracted. Tell you what, I got distracted enough. I'm gonna go grab a beer. We have a bunch of people contributing and being nice today. I'm gonna go grab a beer for the whale pod. I'll be right back.
4:59 here, guys. What are you thinking of the Q&A? You got to show my man Micro a little love for the whale pod. That graphic is insane. Yeah, it is, Ramjo, my man. Who else is out there? You want a shout out? You let me know. We got to get my man some donations here. Let's get the train rolling, guys. I'll tell you what, you get the train rolling from my man Micro. You get a free dance at the hall tonight. Come on down, everybody.
All aboard the donation train.
Yeah, Cora, tell him, sweetheart. Here we go, everybody. Next person that donates gets a special treat if they swing by the hall tonight. Here we go. We have the Bodhi Dulcano says, "Swigo, if you're not the tip of the spear, then PvE is a great way for measuring your improvement. Interesting take there. Garrett Denninghoff says, when the Rancor raid was introduced, it was the best game was the best in this game. Yeah, I have to agree. Sir Georges, my man, admin and holding down the floor here in the whale pod. Streamlabs is the best way to give your YouTuber the most cut of money. Yeah, I would say my take on that is I prefer the audience interaction of Super Chat. Even though they take a 30% hit on it, I still prefer the audience interaction. So
I'm back. What are we talking about? Oh, man, I missed that. We got a couple more whales in here. Hey, yeah, thanks, man. Guys. Oh, there's another one.
Promise some love if they came by the hall, whoever donated.
Hey, man. Oh, what? Well, thanks, man. You're over here plugging for me. What a pro.
Chris living good. This guy's doubling up, man.
Yeah, look at it, man. Gonna be rich by the end of this one, boys. Here, check this out.
Ty Pew. There you go.
Another one. Well proud represent. Good God, boys. Yeah, man. I tell you. Okay, so there's a stream that went. Oh God, dude. I bought this. I complain about this literally every time I open a beer. I bought this on my honeymoon. I'm gonna tell you this story. On this honeymoon, I bought this can opener. I call it can opener every time. Beer opener, bottle opener. Here, it looks like a turtle, right? I got it on my honeymoon. We were in Hawaii. I was scuba diving. And
that's good.
Oh, another one. Ty sends in 2. Hey, man, thanks, man. These well sounds are making me feel self-conscious with my... But, okay, anyway, long story short. I bought this stupid bottle opener. And what it does is the way it's bent, it slips... and it bends the top of the thing and then launches your finger directly into the piece of metal. Like, you see this?
This is like the worst designed
bottle opener It's the worst design. So this is the part that opens it, and you have this half an inch like tail to grab on, and you see this scar on my right here.
Yeah, you're just gonna lose your thumb at one point.
I was opening a beer for my father-in-law, right? And I was like, here you go. I opened up and just blood went everywhere, straight into his beer. I'm like, I'll drink this one.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, don't buy. There we go. All right, boys. This one's for you. Alaskan IPA, Icy Bay IPA. All right, where were we? I got all this right.
We're due for a refresh on questions, my brother.
Refresh on questions? All right. Oh, man. Let's see if we can find one here. Oh, will any hero villains eventually get a Zeta for their basic ability? Oh, that's kind of a cool question. Okay. Potentially. There's been conversations around it for some characters. CLS was a candidate. Jedi Knight Revan was too. We ultimately decided not to for a variety of reasons, but the option is still definitely on the table. The primary concern of issue is how you balance character around the requirements and needs. Zeta on the basic is the short version of the larger design issue around it. Makes perfect sense. Understand the response. Good question. Good response. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the moment you introduce Zeta on basic, and that opens the door for all sorts of you have that basics only auto ability, and I think that if you tinker with that, you run the risk of infinite loops or something like that. I think you need to keep basic abilities just that basic. So I'm good with the answer.
Yeah, good. I'm okay with it too. Here we go. The real question no one's asking: how are you doing this Q&A when Kaylee is hogging the laptop? We are all Kaylee, and then they all say, "I am Kaylee." Here we go. Yeah, I get it. They're memeing here. Next one. When can we have another dev Q&A? And can I use it a different interface beyond one that requires refreshing the forum endlessly? Some kind of live chat forum or YouTube or Twitch? That's a good. Oh, Togmo. Hey, Togmo's in here. He's a OG member of the Well Pod. Well Pod representing. Yeah, another great stream as always, Micro. It's great to see yours join the stream. I know, man. We got the hall in with the pod today. It's the hall pod hall. Or something there.
Indeed.
Beer, 2 sips of beer, and I'm already making no sense.
Let's see here.
What's next on the? Okay, we've already covered these.
Oh, this is the different formats for interfacing with the community.
Oh, yes. Oops. Here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, CG. If you're out there listening, you can come on the hall anytime.
Yeah, same here, man. You're welcome here anytime. There's no way that you touch
the hall. You come on either one. We'll handle it.
No problem. I promise you a fair and balanced news source you can trust. I'm sure Urs promises the same. No gotcha media.
Gotcha media.
All right, let's see. Okay, so Erica says, yes, this one was long overdue. We're talking about other types of formats. possibly working with smaller groups of people, more focused on particular topics, etc. These forum-based Q&As are a technical challenge, so we'll see what we can do about hosting them on a different platform. Good answer. I would like to see... Ooh, excuse me. Hiccup. I would personally like to see a Twitch stream. Get the Twitch chat in there. YouTube's fine. Something. I want to see a live stream where we have to see them reacting to the questions as they are being talked. Plus, I want to see what the majority of the audience actually wants to have answered. It's very difficult to gauge that when they only give you a link to submit the questions.
Yeah. You wonder what was screened out here that they're just
Exactly.
not going to touch. Yep.
Sometimes the questions they choose not to answer are more telling than the ones they do, but you can't see the questions. So, scrolling through here, seeing if we can find anything else. Maybe that was the last question. Let's see here. Did they talk about ships yet? Good question. There's supposed to be one where they talk about the tip of the spear comment too around here. So let me see if I can dig through this. They're not necessarily formatting this the best way, I think, because they're putting them kind of in random spots.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're not. They have not been in a row. Okay, here, let's just do Control F spear. Here we go. What did Carrie mean by tip of the spear? Carrie, thanks for asking this. It's a military expression that means the people that get there first. By that, I was referencing both free-to-play and spinning players who get content first. That's it. In military terms, the tip of the spear usually don't fare so well. Sorry, guys, not my main reason for the expression, but that they cut through the forces to make it easier. Okay, then she goes on the Game of Thrones metaphor. Bro, we know what the metaphor means. That's not what he's asking. The question was not, what does the tip of the spear metaphor mean? I don't know what Google is. We all know what it is. We wanted to know why you said it.
We got Alexandri Schmidt saying he just got an in-game update for a notification. Notification
really?
in-game update. So
I'll launch that.
not sure what's going on there. I wonder if they got something going live right now.
Maybe so. When will Zetas become purchasable? Oh, gee, please no. Okay, CG Carey says, not right now, not for the foreseeable future. Thank you. While we know people want to buy Zetas at this point in the game, it's the pinnacle of content for the character experience, and we like that it's restricted purely by how many you can earn. Maybe one day in the future we will sell Zetas and occasionally sell a few out isn't out of the question. But for now, we aren't planning to sell them regularly or even at all. Again, I'll triple underline for now. It may change.
Totally good with this, man.
Yep.
I got to tell you, I feel like the Zeta influx is just about perfect right now. I mean, I'm getting them fast enough to where I can plan, but it's not, I've got it's a delicate balance between the Zeta and Omega. What do you think?
I think purchasing Omegas are fine. If someone wants to whale out and buy 1,000 Omegas, I have no problem with that because personally, I don't think it changes. I mean, it doesn't change my Grand Arena any, right? It's like you have the Omegas or you don't, and if you do, well, then you just like have the full character. I can still beat you, right?
Right.
But the Zetas are something different entirely because Zetas turn like crappy characters into like good usable characters without needing basically anything. I mean, Chief Chirp is like a good example of this. Do you have one off the top of your head that's like a good Zeta that makes someone crappy good?
You put me on the spot here, bro.
I did. How about Mission Zhao and Mission in Zalbar, right? Not so great without both.
Karth Zeta is pretty dang good.
That's another one. So yeah. Anyway, I'm perfectly fine with that answer. I think she answered that very well.
Barris is a next level Zeta. These guys are right.
Barris. Yeah.
Yeah.
Barris does kind of turn her into a completely different character. We got a lot of people in here. We got kind of a hype. Stream going on right now, Ers. You realize that?
I know, man. We can move them.
We got some people. I keep wanting to just yell the hall.
No. The pod.
The pod. Yeah, it doesn't have the same ring to it, man. The pod. The Tide Pod.
The Tide Pod.
Are they done with the... Is that all the questions? I'm trying to... Here, let me zoom way out here. Go all the way from the top. Okay, Bronzium Territory War. We've seen all of these. We've seen seen that one. Check. Yep. Okay, yep. Yep, these are all fine. We've read all of these. Oh wait, here's one. What Okay, he's got 2 more questions I think he's going to answer. Which character's kit was the most fun to create and why? And which character kit designs are you particularly proud of? He hasn't posted answers to those yet, so it looks like we still have a few coming from him.
What do you think the most? We're talking flavor, power, overall design. What's your favorite character in the game? For those aspects.
Wampa. I think Wampa is thematically the best fitting character. He does what you would expect him to do. I think he's balanced. I also think he's very good. I think it's difficult to get a character that does all of those things. That's like a disgustingly good character in the right situations, but it's not overpowered. You have to make the decision to farm him. I like him. I like everything about him, honestly. I think Wampa is going to be it for me. For a long time, my image was Wampa, and then it was Jimro Grievous, like, putting iTunes cards, like, into his collection, you know that meme? And now it's this, so. How about you, man?
So I'm with you. I like niche characters that are used for very specific things. So, like, Visas Mars, probably one of my favorite characters in the game. She does just cool stuff with Sith, does all the assisting. You can plug her and play her in different teams. Love her art style. Love the character. Obviously, she's a part of one of the most organic things that's ever come out of my channel with Beauty and the Beast. So it's just fantastic.
Say this someone, or Visas is someone I've always wanted to say that I just haven't.
Yeah, she got. I mean, that was one of the Zetas where I know this is not great, but I'm gonna do it anyway just because Visas.
Okay, I'm seeing. I think it looks like there's a couple more questions still to be answered by Crumb, I think it was, or Top Hat. So we're gonna refresh one more time. But I think we probably only have a couple more questions here.
So I'm gonna tell you, not super happy with this.
Yeah, let's talk about it in Jimro, man. Yeah, so you're not happy with the answers so far?
I feel like we did not get a clear reassurance of the future, and that is my one takeaway here. Like, we had to, veteran players, 3+ years, 2.5+ years, had to walk away from this feeling like there is something to be holding on to. We're seeing a lot of people move on from our communities. And
we're losing a lot of the people right now.
Yep. And we needed. And here's the thing. Here's the other thing. I'll give you the other side of it. Working in corporate, I understand that there's this thing they call the quiet period, which is they can't make new announcements that could potentially impact the earnings of the previous quarter and the future quarter. So they could be in a situation right now where they're in the quiet period and they just can't make a big announcement yet. But my thought is, if you're going to host something like this, you better have some sort of tangible, thing happening that people will walk away feeling good. Now, I feel like we got a bunch of fluff. What do you think?
I was going to say that your last point is, I think you kind of hit home. For me personally, if you do a Q&A, we got another well spotting here. Matt Mayhew sends $1. Thank you, Matt. Much appreciated. Thanks for the tips. You guys have been very generous with me tonight. This is, I think, potentially my best night ever live streaming. It's right around there.
Nice, man.
But what was I saying here? Man, I hear myself doing the well noise, and it just throws me out. Okay, so if you're doing the dev Q&A, you have to be aware that there's probably only 3 or 4 questions you're really looking to have answered. One of which was the cheating question, which they did answer. It
was a good answer.
It was a good answer, too, yep. The other one's the PvE content. They did answer that. I think the other one is they probably did need to do some kind of statement about, Carrie's, Twitter breakdown that people had problems with, right? And I'm okay with I would have been okay with them doing no answer over the answer we got. Personally, I wasn't so happy about that one. Oh, Deadpool Kyle sends in $1. Thanks, man. Much appreciated. Well pod, showing love. I would have rather had no answer than the answer we got. I'm slightly concerned that Squadrina is being looked at by them. There was a couple points through the Q&A where they mentioned Squadrina and the Crystal Income from separate questions that they probably didn't need to mention the particulars they did. Although I will be fair and say I was happy that I thought it was very fair of CG Carry to tell us that it's $300,000 a day given away in Crystal's worth. I thought that was a pretty fair answer to give out. Tell you what, let's do this, Urs. Let's do a 1 to 10 rating here, and we're gonna guess what each other is going to give it for a rating. So give yourself 30 seconds here, think it through, put down a rating, and you let me know what you think.
All right, I got my rating.
Okay, I got mine. I'm going to say you win with a 3.
You got it, man.
Really? Yeah.
Freaking nailed it.
Dude, let's
And
go.
we're here.
Let's go. All right.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like we got some tangible information, but not the reassurance that veteran players need. So that's where I'm at.
Yep. I take a guess. What do you think I was going to put it at?
I was just 3 as well.
I went with a 4. And the reason I went with a 4 is because I think Top Hat kind of saved the day, personally. I think his answers were good from what I saw. I liked basically every answer Top Hat had. They didn't give us enough, really, to make us feel 100% okay with the upcoming PvE content, but they did answer the question, and I really like the $300,000 number. I like it when they actually give you tangible, real numbers to work with. And because of that, I bumped them up a point. But yeah, brother, I think I feel exact same about you with this Q&A, basically.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you were streaming it. Miss Tron said no more streaming for me during the day. And since you were streaming it, all I had to do was just show up on Discord. So there you go.
Oh, there you go. Nice and easy day. Thanks for thanks for hanging out during the dev Q&A and all that. It was a lot of fun.
Hey, yeah, ask you guys. The Whale Pod here. Do you want to see Darth Micro and Urs do collaboration? Been talking about.
Oh yeah, that's a good question. What does the Whale Pod want to see? Because for me, personally, I love doing collabs. Man, I did a couple with Mobile Gamer, and he was a lot of fun. He did that one with Cubs. And personally, I think you're probably the funnest guy to sit down and have a beer with, have a chat with. So.
Yeah, we're the same guy. That's why we're both
We are.
gamers, man, at heart, and we're gamers first. So.
Two sides of the coin here.
Yeah.
Cool.
Everybody's feeling it. Look at this.
Yeah, man. It looks like it. It looks like we got something in the making here. I tell you what. I don't know what you're doing this Sunday, but if you want, I'm doing my podcast recording this Sunday. So if you're around sometime at night, then let me know.
It will depend on when Grand Arena falls. That might be the...
Yes.
Tonight, Friday, Sunday.
All right.
Yeah, so that'll be the last... Well, maybe we can figure it out.
We'll figure something out. I know I had threw a few ideas at you before, and I know you had a couple too.
Yeah. I think we have some stuff. Anyways,
We'll
maybe we could do like something like this where we get the communities together and we just switch channels back and forth.
Oh, that could be fun. That could be
And
fun.
that way we can do full-on audience interaction.
And then it gives everyone a day off. Gives me a day off, then you go. You get a day off, I go. We can go back and forth.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty good.
Interesting. All right. Well, brother, I got to get back to work, but I just want to say great job, and we'll talk later, okay?
Yeah, much love to you, man. Thanks for coming on the Whale Pod tonight.
Yeah, always fun, man.
All right, cheers.
Whale Pod, baby. All right, guys. Bye.
The Whale Hall?
Whale Pod.
Yeah. All right, man. Later, brother. Have a good one. Everyone say thanks, sirs. Thanks for being on. Always a pleasure to talk to him. Always a pleasure. The Hall Pod. No, it's the Whale Pod. Get it right. The Hall is him. Separate marketing. Separate branding. Alright, so let's check if we got the in-game update yet. Pull on up here. Yep, client must be restarted. Let me get the screen going on here. Air server, where are you? We're going to check what the update's about. It looks like we're still waiting on a couple questions, but no Q&As updated yet. 4 new question answered. Oh, really? Oh, all right, maybe I'm wrong. Let's go look. Yeah, hit my boy up the Urs, man. What am I doing? I didn't plug the boy, man. That's terrible. Terrible friend there. Go hit up Urs if you haven't already. Great content creator. Arguably the best streamer out there on this planet. I'm connecting the air server right now. Top Hat answers. Oh, here we go. We got a couple more. We do have a couple more questions. Excuse me. Okay, so what we got here? Where is it? Do you ever consider to give us a character that we can design pre-build so we can change some abilities that that you give us, something that like our own journey character in Galaxy of Heroes. That's interesting. He says, I love the idea that's come up internally before. It's a lot of work for tuning and balance, so we've explored branching ability systems a la MMOs, something we would do, but we need time to do it well and be able to test the game is growing exponentially. This is a fair answer. They do this in Raid Shadow Legends, which is another mobile game I play. They have a like a skill tree, a mastery system essentially, and it is pretty cool. It's a way to kind of customize your character and make it their own. I'd be okay if they add that system, but yeah, it would mess with the balance terribly, and I'm sure it's probably never going to happen, to be honest, just because of how much work it would be, and it would change everything in the game. But it is an interesting concept. My Imperial probe droid is repeatedly failing to kill the target it self-destructs into. Is this intended behavior or simply an oversight with numbers assigned to massive damage that hasn't been addressed yet? IPD and Savage inflict massive damage, 99,999, and Nihilus instantly defeats an opponent. Without more context to your specific circumstance, the only thing I can think is either your opponent has more health and protection than that amount of their specific stats abilities, are mitigating some of the damage. I recommend sending a ticket to the Answers HQ if you have a recurring problem that you think isn't covered by the above. So they answer that. It is only 99,000 damage. All right, next one here. Would you consider implementing customization or equipable items to make another layer of depth, Mace Windude? Yes and no. If by customization you mean giving Commander Luke Skywalker Chewbacca's bowcaster visually, then no. If you mean by giving you ability to control stats of your characters and potentially their offensive and defensive positioning, then yes. But there's a lot we want to do and never have enough time, so that's a question to win. That seems very fair. Very fair answers. No problems here. Okay, let's see. Someone was saying there's a couple of new questions we missed. Let's refresh. One thing I'm definitely going to give them props for is they answered a lot of questions. Okay, still working through a ton of questions, so we're going to go longer than announced. I'm going to close this thread as we aren't going to have time to answer in our deluge of inquiries, but we will answer as many as we can. Okay, so they're going to continue answering more questions. I tell you what, guys, I got to pop the seal. I got to use the restroom here. So give me 1 second. I will leave you with, I'm trying to think what I have. I'm going to have to leave you with Chair Stream. I'll be right back, boys. Here, I'll leave a hat on the chair. That way it's like a person. All right, boys, we are back. Sorry about the chair stream. All right, let's check our questions here. Okay, they're still answering questions. I'm trying to find any question that hasn't been answered yet. You sound micro hungry. I'll show you what I'm eating here. This is, I'm a vegetarian, so they're vegetarian, but they're like buffalo wings, basically. I haven't tried them yet. My wife just got them, so let's see if they're any good. Wow. Actually, not bad. Not bad. Okay. Not bad, guys. Okay. Is there anything in particular we're trying to find? They're still answering questions. We're trying to find the ones we haven't seen yet. Here we go. For upgrading basic abilities, I've noticed the new or better scaling heroes have upwards of 30% plus in a single upgrade, while older characters might get a single 15% plus on the last tier. Are heroes going to be standardized or brought up to the same playing scale? So Top Hat answers, he says, we've been actively engaged in reworking our older characters for a while now. We consider doing periodic mass standardization early, but as we worked through it, we found that it ultimately wouldn't deliver the kinds of experience that we intended. First, older characters, beyond not having competitive stat tables, are often sometimes in need of some kit love as well. Second, if we're going to work on a kit, then we want to make sure that the rework is within the spirit of the character and has a reasonable place to compete in the game. That's fair. As such, doing a mass rebalance of characters is fundamentally too big a project for us, and we don't think we do our characters the level of service they need. We don't have a 100% hit rate on this, but we try our hardest to deliver a solid experience when updating our characters. I think that's a perfectly fair answer. Like, perfectly fair, no problems. Moving forward, when will we get some new in-depth fan favorite characters from the Clone Wars with specific synergies? Example, Kai-Adi-Mundi with the leadership role for Jedi, and Wookiee or Hondo uniting prequel era scoundrels Galactic Order. Top Hat answers, as always, we don't comment on the nature of characters we release and when. Let's see, anything else quite here yet? We're just seeing if we can... Still a couple more that we're going to be answered somewhere. Top Hat answers are very good. Is that it? I think that might be all their questions, guys. They said they're answering more. He had it at 10:12. So he had, what, 13 minutes ago? He had it 15 minutes ago. He had it saying they're still answering. There's more. Let me scroll past and see if they're just running it. Oh, wait, here we go. Here's some new ones. Okay. Oh man, we have a whole bunch of new ones here. Okay. Oh wow, we got it. Okay. A lot of new characters introduced have very specific positive synergies with other characters' factions. Have you considered introducing negative synergies? An example would be if Darth Revan is placed on a team with Jedi, the Jedi experiences fear. Or if Palpatine were on a team with Rebels, the Rebels would lose 50% tenacity, for instance. It's been discussed, definitely. Ultimately, our thinking is tended, we'd rather think about how we enable characters versus disable other characters. It's definitely thematically interesting, but it is without cost, time, and effort, and it also bloats the kitsch, which would have been trending towards being more complicated. Fair response. I think the question is not one that really needs to be answered. I don't think it would make any sense to have characters hurt your own characters. I understand, though, however, that there is some synergy or anti-synergy, like Padme, for instance, doesn't allow you to gain bonus turn meter if she's on your team, stuff like that. I know everybody is a little tired of Old Republic, but leaving out Calo Nord is a big thumbs down. So I'm asking if there's possibility that he could make an entrance, even if it makes almost no impact on the bounty hunters or the meta of Sith Empire, for nobody gets away from Calo Nord in the end, CG. you're not the only person sad about Cal Nord not making it in the game. There was a vibrant discussion between design and production about whether or not Cal should go into the game. Ultimately, it was a problem of time. We didn't have enough time to get him into the game with the rest of the Dark Side, and that's the Republic characters. That said, that's not a no forever. It's just a no for right now. I think this was a great question. Personally, I am a huge fan of Cal Nord. I think he was thematically fit very well. He counted in the game and then did huge damage. I would love to see him in the game particularly. Even if it like just added to a Bronzium as like the exact version of him that was in the event and he's complete trash, I'd be fine with it. Man, without the ers in the whale pod, it's hard to keep it going, man. Your voice loses it. Okay. On to the next one. The game's focus has moved in the direction of highly synergistic teams within a faction into a specific character synergies, as opposed to having teams where you can mix and match characters regardless of faction. Is there a plan to release more general purpose characters, or is the idea going forward based around faction and character-based synergies? I think this was a question that Urs was very curious about, and me myself was very curious about. I'm interested to see the answer. He says, given the state of the game and the number of characters in the game, introducing characters that have a broad-based synergies, example, all light side allies get X, are tricky. They can be potentially destabilizing over the long run. Ultimately, we provided broad synergies so that we can better evaluate what effect the character will have on the balance of the game, and hopefully make it so that we don't release something that inhibits behaviors that are difficult for us to deal with. Oh, hey, man. Thanks. A direct donation. You said your head torso is comically large compared to the desk. You are right. But hey, thanks, Anonymous. You sent $3 donation through the direct link in the description. I much appreciate it, man. You guys have been very, very, very nice to me. I actually haven't looked, but yeah, we've got $32.51 in Super Chat and $3 through the Streamlabs. That's $35. Thank you, guys. That's nuts, man. That's very generous. Never thought I'd be a YouTuber here reading Galaxy of Heroes news for people. I do love this game, though, man. Okay, this is off topic. I'm sorry if you don't care, but I love what I do. I'm so happy with the job recently. It's just fun to make content. I love talking to people. It's great. I don't know, man. Life's good right now. Life's good. Okay, anyway, next question. Can we have an in-depth description of how the potency tenacity interactions are handled in the game, similar to the protection up clarifications? Erebus 2017. CG Top Hat says, sure. CG Eric, throw this on the pile for the Designer Summit. Okay, nice. He said yes to that one. Great answer. Let's see if we can get any. Can we get any other questions? Is that all of them? It seems like they're still answering. Let's scroll up to the top and refresh it, because they're still answering. I gotta say, good for them. They are really being thorough. At least they're going through this, and some of these questions they actually do a very good job of answering. I think I've been critical on a few of these because some of the harder hitting questions I feel like I would have liked a little bit more direct of an answer. But they came out with the balls to do a Q&A. All these different people are answering them. They had to know that right now is a really bad time to do a Q&A if you're looking for positive press. So you know what? Cheers to them. Cheers to them. I really do appreciate the effort they've put into answering these. Trying to see where the next one is. It's hard to find where the stuff we haven't seen yet is. So the Colonord potency. Okay, will you be adding Mandalorian content when it comes out? He says maybe. So that's basically a yes. Let's see. Okay, have you considered removing old and outdated characters from the game, e.g. Mob, Enforcer, Cup, Jedi, Knight Guardian? We love all of the characters equally. Beer's getting to me. We love all of our characters equally and wouldn't want to invalidate the work and investment players have done to make them their own. He says, I think it's a more interesting approach when we start to explore territory where bonuses, finding unique places for them of some of the lesser used characters have an interesting identity completely hypothetical example, use cup in the event, get percentage more credits. I think that's an interesting way and a good way to balance it. I have no problem with that answer. The last few questions have been answered very, very nicely. Eric has new questions. Okay, let's check him out. Thanks for help keeping me updated on these. It is very difficult to keep yourself updated. Okay, where is it? Okay, producer, there's Crumb. Eric's responses, okay. Oh no, we just answered those. Okay. I'll tell you what, while we're waiting on our questions here to refresh. And while we're waiting on the next questions, in order to keep the well pod entertained, new carry questions? Okay, let me check carry real quick. Refresh. Would be at the bottom, right? Okay, here we go. Okay, with the character release cadence going from a trickle to a near standstill, how are you planning to keep in-game players engaged and interested in the game? We are simply running out of factions to panic gear / farm Varth Dater. I feel like this question is loaded. We've heard both. There are too many characters being released, articulated as well, and I'd like to think it comes in waves. Released a lot of content at the beginning of this year. The most players of this game still don't have, so that while they catch up and work on acquiring Darth Revan and Darth Malak, we know that players have. To be honest, I kind of agree with her on this one. If I'm being honest, I'm very critical. I am very honest with how I feel about the choices they make, and in fairness, I will be honest about what I agree with them with, and I think she's right. I think it is a loaded question. The character release cadence is, no matter, in particular to what this guy's questioned about, the cadence of panic gearing and farming. No matter what, people are going to be angry. She's right, because if you do too many, people are going to be like, you're making us panic farm too many. You do too little, and people are going to say, oh, I don't have enough to do. And you do just the right amount, people are going to say, oh, all this game is just farming characters. So like, I totally understand what she's saying. She's not wrong. The only thing I would have liked to see a little bit better in the answer is maybe, in addition to what she said, because I think what she said is perfectly reasonable, I would have liked her to say, we are worried about the long-term veteran players, and we are looking to add more ways to keep them engaged. That's it. She wouldn't have to go into details, nothing like that. That's all I would have liked to see in addition to that answer. But you know what? She's right. It is a loaded question. I think she did a fair answer. Okay. What's your favorite kit concept that you wanted to ship but couldn't quite nail it down? This is a great question. CG Carry, there was some earlier discussion on prototypes for CLS actually changing his entire kit, swapping the basics and specials when you use call to action. We referred to it as a stance system. That's interesting. While it technically worked, there were a lot of weird edge cases, and we worried it would add too much complexity into, at the time, was a pretty loaded kit. We still discuss the stance system as something we may tackle in the future, but we have no plans to right now. That's just a good question, and it's just a good answer. Nothing really to add to that. Although I will say I think a stance system is an interesting concept. It's something I would have not thought of, and I like that concept very much. I think they could implement that somewhere. Okay, so let's refresh and try everybody one by one and see if there's any new questions. Okay, they're still working on questions. They haven't said they've closed it out yet. Okay, no new ones for Carrie. We just read the new ones for Carrie. Let's go down here. All right, here we go. When is our Lord and Savior Darth Jar Jar coming? Top Hat says only after Shirtless Kyle makes it on the Holo table. That's can confirm Jar Jar is not coming. Let's scroll down here and see if there's any more here. Nope, Eric doesn't have any new ones. What can you do to eliminate Shard Arena Mafias? Coordinating PvP efforts seem very counterintuitive. Arguably, there's more cooperative action in Shard chats than guild chats. Good point. We're hoping the ability to change your time zone helps with this issue. Basically, they're saying we're not time zone. If you're having problems with your shard, switch your time zone. No, they haven't talked about ships yet. I'm sorry, I've been focusing mainly on trying to provide you with the updates. So I haven't been reading chat as much, but we are in a little bit of a downtime right now while we're waiting on the new updates. So what we're going to do here, in the meantime, we're waiting on the new updates. Actually, I can probably just leave it on here. Waiting on the new updates. I'll be reading chat. Feel free to put in chat if you want me to answer a question or you want to just talk to me, say something. I'll respond. I'll make sure I get some chat interaction in now. And then while we're waiting on some new content, new question answers, I will be with you until the end of the dev Q&A. So don't worry, guys. I'm not going anywhere. I will be here until they say they're done answering questions. And we will read all of them together. And in the meantime, while we're waiting, we're going to play just a little bit of piano, something to do. We got a good 300 people in here. Now it's time to show off my terrible piano skills. I got like a broken stand. Can you see this? Hard note change question. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, no new ones there. Darth Jar Jar, that was the last one there. Just making sure before I start that we're not missing any. Okay, here we go. Will you set the hard note battles from 5 to 8 permanently? It will really help to free players to follow the meta. Not in the near future. There's your answer. The game launched at 3 originally, and it was definitely tuned too tight. When we started to release more marquees, we bumped up to 5 permanently. Whenever we thought of an influx of marquees, this necessitated it. We bumped it to 8 temporarily. However, we aren't releasing enough marquees right now to make that numbers work. It always needs a balance between giving good, long, and short-term goes, and we'll watch as adjust as needed. Now, that's going to be a question that people for sure aren't going to like the answer to, but honestly, they're not wrong. It was stated to be a temporary change. The reason people like 8 is because it makes it very easy to farm a hard note character. You can farm it quicker than typically you used to. I mean, enough to the point where like you can actually farm an 8 hard note character if that's all you're farming pretty quickly. So I think this change the change back to 5 is fine. They did say it was temporary and it went on a lot longer than they said it was going to be. So as much as I would like to side against them on this one, I'm just going to say, I think it's okay. It's okay. It's 5. I think 5 is okay. Personally, that's just my opinion on it, though. But I do understand other people have points of view, and I respect other people's opinions. Okay, so let's see if we're missing any other ones. Let me refresh one more time here. Okay, so no new ones there. No new ones there. No new ones there. No new ones there. So now we're waiting on. It didn't go a lot longer than they said. They just never said. I suppose so. Do they have any issues about ship content? No, actually, no questions about it. Trying to see if I have anything in chat I need to respond to here. Do you want more journeys or marquees? Or do you feel like the amount of journeys is quite overwhelming? And I think we have a fine amount of journeys. Any more, and it's going to be very overwhelming. I'm kind of enjoying the downtime. The only thing I'm not enjoying is nothing to do. That doesn't mean I'm not enjoying like not having a panic farm. Those are very different things. I want something to do, as in like not just simming a hard node. Like I want like actual events to play. But as far as like the hard node farming, panic farming goes, I'm fine with the downtime right now. When's your next Let's Play? Maybe tonight. Depends how it goes. Okay. Waiting on the next questions from him. Let's do some. Tell you what, you guys, I like blues. Personally. When I play piano, it's normally blues. Let's do bass. There we go. And let's get some kind of like rhythm, right? Alright, let's get some kind of like ba 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 ba. Let's go to rap hip hop. Okay, let's try this. Oh, no, I missed something here. What we get? Oh, Andre sent $1 and says, May was the worst month since the game started. With no Grand Arena, June looks to be even worse. Was hoping they'd make a concrete announcement of some new content announcement for said day. I was hoping for that too, brother. Unfortunately, looking like it's not going to be that way. Alright. Enough of the rap. It's like Shrek music. All right, we got any more questions? Let's go. Refresh. Have we wasted enough time yet? Oh, here we got some more ones. Okay. So CG Crime has some more. And can we look forward to 6v6 or other battle formats in the future? By Devil's Treasure. No plans at this time to expand beyond 5v5 ships and 3v3, but we do consistently do some experimenting with other battle formats internally. Okay, so we do know that they may consider other things in the future, but no plans at this time. The last road ahead included discussion on a larger scale Grand Arena tournament. I think that this could have helped reduce the amount of one-sided GAs beyond the first one in each event. Can we get an update on how that's developing? Starting today or tomorrow, we're beginning a series of posts about Grand Arena Championships that goes into more detail on the future. There's a lot of information here, and I anticipate a fair amount of follow-ups with the community before we go live. Can we look forward to 6v6 or other battle formats in the future? Okay, so he posted that one twice. Do you plan to add new Grand Arena achievements for new characters now and going forward? We've always periodically added achievements to the game, but for this update, any achievement design bandwidth we might have had went towards a new feature that I'm really excited to talk about starting a week from now. And then he copy-pasted the 6v6 one again. Can we get some office-centric upgrades to assist with guild management, or officer-centric upgrades to assist with guild management? You provide daily and lifetime raid ticket stats. Can we get average raid ticket stats? Lifetime isn't useful because not everyone has been in the guild the same amount of time. Daily is a snapshot. Average would be a long-term trend. 2, can we get territory battle review periods like we have for territory war? We can't see 6-day stats because they are gone once the battle ends. Similarly, a preview period would let us set orders before the event opens. 3. Can we be allowed to set platoon orders at the platoon level instead of platoon nodes level? If forward stronghold platoons call for 6-star C3PO, and I know our guild doesn't have one, I want to set a prohibit flag on platoon 5, not on the stronghold node overall if we can fill the other 5 platoons. 4. Can you break out ship and troop GP deployed separately on the stats tab? If I see guild member as partially deployed, I can't tell if it's ships or troops. We fell 200k TP short of I'm assuming he means GP short, or maybe he means territory points, short of a star on day 5. I can see we had GP left to deploy, but it doesn't tell me if ships were already maxed out, and if it was only 1 troop left, or if we had ships that just weren't being used. Can we get data dump off the stats territory rather than help us? Okay, basically this guy wants to know about, can we get shit to help us with officers? We really didn't care about your line of text. Okay, so he says, these are all great points of feedback. I wish we had time to get to these and other things like it for the territory battle. I remember very clearly the concerns we had from players around territory battle management tools for guild leaders and officers when Hoth launched. I can promise that we'll be looking at the pain points from officers when the territory battle deploys, and we may be able to turn around some tools and stats for our quality of life update. Okay, fair enough. Can you add the ability for an officer, not a non-officer, to remove territory defenses? We did look at this, and we would like to get in for both GA and territory war at some point in the future, but it didn't make it into this update due to cost. So there's some mechanic and dev time they're going to need for it. Can you add a review period to territory battles like you have for territory war? It makes it easier for officers to review to improve next time. We want to get this to this eventually. So basically, yeah, there's improvements coming for guild officer stuff. For officers, can you make in-game names clickable to send messages? Example is looking at low territory combat messages, messaging them right there rather than having to go to the guild management scroll, etc. There's some portrait navigation functionality coming in the next update, but not specifically for this. This is a good thing for us to look into, though. Question. For guild management, could we be able to sort by name across the board? Raid tickets, territory battle, territory war, etc. This would make working with spreadsheets a lot easier. We can definitely look into this and progress it in the officer feedback around the upcoming leaderboards. We've been around the GAC and see what priorities change. Okay, so enough with the guild management questions. In terms of development, or any thoughts for additional tools or abilities to guild officers? We just had 4 questions on this. Ideas my guild thought are for territory war, unset defense for member. They already covered this. Track attempts versus battle wins for restricted, blah, blah, blah. Basically said Grand Prix is a result of a lot of effort and work, so with very rare circumstances of active GA players end up in a tie. We decided to opt for rewarding on GP. All else equal, we're hoping active players experience a fewer ties as a result of Grand Prix championships. But definitely appreciate this feedback. We'll check for large scale issues that could crop up. Okay, so this doesn't matter. None of that is anything that matters that we care about. Okay, here we go. Can you change the character cadence in terms of return on shards from nodes? In the game's current state, it is unfriendly to new players and does not give incentive to spend since the rosters continue to grow to the point where it's not feasible that an investment has a good return. I think release cadence over the first year is fine as it is, but once the character reaches a year old, would it be possible to increase either the amount per drop, say 1 to 2, or increase the odds that drop occurs, say from 33% to 60%? What? Jesus, someone's on a dirt bike. I'd like to find a way to increase shard inflow of other characters through other means, such as events, see galactic bounties. The suggestions you made about drop rates would be extremely manual for us, as we have no tech that allows us to change drop rates based on any criteria, even though players think we do. Smiley face. Okay. I'm not going to comment on that. I'm just going to let you guys form your own opinion on that one. What is the reasoning behind not adding additional characters to the various shops like Galactic War, Arena, and Cantina? It seems like rotating characters in and out of there would be a good addition. Currently, everything just goes from shard shop currency, which is pretty boring. Thanks. We look at these various shops as life cycle based. There's a point in the player's life cycle where they are working on obtaining all characters from each shop. Once that is complete, this becomes a new inflow of shard shop currency for gear farming. We have no immediate plans to update these shipments. Basically, long story short, nope. The stores are staying the same, boys. Will there be a level cap increase or Gear 13 coming with the new Geonosian territory battle? Gear 12 finishers, e.g. you can get your characters up to Gear 13, will be coming with Geonosian territory battles. What? Oh, no. Oh. Okay, boys. I called this in one of my podcasts I did I think I want to say it was Dojenson's podcast. Someone's podcast that I was on, I called this. I said that if they're going to add Gear 13, they're going to do it with the new territory battle, because that would help them monetize. That would help them monetize the next gear level, as guilds will require you to own the new marquee characters as the new territory battle. Yes, Urs, we can confirm Gear 13 is coming to the game. Live breaking news right now. This is a live announcement from Darth Microtransaction. Gear 13 is coming to the game. You can expect it with Geonosian territory battles. He didn't say with the territory battles update, folks. He said with Geonosian territory battles. So what I would expect here is hardcore monetization of platoons in order to beat territory battles, in order to get better chest rewards that will drop at the higher tiers, will drop you the Gear 13 piece you need. I would expect bend over, folks. It's coming, all right? Let's move on to the next question, and we're going to go over that in more detail. Now that we have all sorts of new gear to farm in-game, from the new Cryotech parts to Gear 12 Plus, when can we expect older gear to become more available? Many players are still gated by gear from challenges such as Mark 8 Biotech Salvage and Mark 3 Carbs. And given that we have to get more characters geared up, some relief here would be appreciated. Two-step. The gear crunch is something we look at consistently. One of the hardest things for us from a balance standpoint is the different priorities that players have based on their life cycle. We hear about Mark 8 Biotech implants and how pinched players are on it, but that pinch point is relative to specific gear GP ranges when we look at the data. I'm in this bloat, by the way, at 4 mil GP. So if we reward Mark 8 Biotech Salvage or prototypes from an event, some players find it to be a good reward, and others would have it be a different piece of gear that's relative to their current needs. This is why we typically rely on shipments or a new currency from new features that players can purchase the gear that they currently want. We are doing this with Geonosian territory battles and with Grand Arena Champions. Form points coming soon, so this should help increase the inflow of needed pieces of gear. So that's whatever, but boys, this is the highlight right here. This is the big deal. This right here is the big one. Gear 13 has been 100% confirmed to be coming with the Geonosian territory battle update. You heard it here first. This is an absolute massive deal. I cannot believe this. I cannot believe it. I'm just... Why is top hat so sexy? Nice try, CG top hat. Okay, that was the other question. These ones haven't done that anymore. I'm just checking for new questions. Okay, here we go. Is it possible to take into consideration the amount of Zetas a player has as a part of matchmaking? I think it will be a much more enjoyable for players like me who have broader rosters with fewer Zetas. It is possible. We're not talking about the specifics of our matchmaking formula, but our goal is to keep working towards consistently and fair and more fun matches. I'm still blown away from the fact that Gear 13 has been dropped on us. Oh, here we go. We got a couple more. Why do most in-game events only offer health mods as a prize now? Can it be switched up so different events offer different types of mods? He responds, we typically lean into health mods as a default since they're fairly universal, but we do hear this a lot about health mods. We probably won't alter any existing events, but with new events, we'll look into diversifying the mod rows. So new events, maybe we get speed mods or something. How about a mechanism for fusing lower gear into higher gears, i.e. 10 Mark 4 stun guns makes 1 5 Mark stun gun. Fusing lower level gear into higher gear is not something we're currently looking at because they don't want people to be sitting on 500 stun guns. We're thinking about a few ways that you can accumulate inventories of lower level gear, can be some value for your collection. I'm optimistic that we eventually come up with something that makes it basically no. Okay, so the rest of these questions don't matter. The only thing that matters is this right here. Gear 13 is coming to the game. All right, well, Pod, let me know what you think. I've been trying to keep the content entertaining flowing. I haven't been focusing on the chat, so I'm going to focus on the chat here now for a moment. I'm going to use the restroom. I will be right back, and I want to hear in the chat right now, what is everyone's opinion on this Gear 13? I want to hear you being optimistic. Are you pessimistic? Do you think it's going to be heavily monetized? Thoughts, concerns? I want to read them all. I'll be right back. I'm going to use the restroom. All right, well, Pod, I am back, and I am going to do a quick plug here. I want to say thank you. I want to do a quick shout out and thank you to my patrons. I currently have 22 patrons. God bless their souls, helping support me to follow my dream here. And I would like to take the moment to say thank you to them. And also to give a shout out, directly after this stream, there will be a patron-only stream. The link will be sent via Patreon website. And we're just going to be talking in the Discord, voice chat and stuff, have a beer, chat with the people. So if you're interested in that, Patreon description's down below. And what I'm going to do here is I want to read off my patrons. So Blake, Chris, Daniel, Darcy, David, Eric, Evo, Had Sheik, Hindo, Izzy Borat, Jeff Shirts, Joe, Jonathan, Joseph, Lord Perez, Louisiana, Mark, Mike, Noel, Northern Border, Reagan, Rudy, Stanislav, Subtle Saint, Tellboy, Thorsten, Troy White, Vinny, William, Coden, Zachary, all of you, anywhere from $1 to $25. I thank you very much for your patron support. I wanted to give that shout out now. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for what you do. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and read the chat here. I'm very curious about what people had to say. Gear 13, we got the middle finger here. And alrighty, let's switch over and show the chat so you guys can see here what we are reading itself. Can we get the pop out there? This bang. Here we got the chat here. So the well pod. See what you guys have to say about Gear 13. We poor folks are hosed. Micro, how many Zays do you have saved up for Darth Revan Malik? You probably only need a few of them. I would rather have a ship fixed in Gear 13. I would rather have ships as well. Horrible cash grab and closer step to pay the win. I'm concerned that we were heavily monetized with Malik and Padme, and now we're going into Gear 13. It feels like we're just going more monetary. 8-star, go the Gear. No, I don't think it's 8-star. I think Gear 13 doesn't have to do with shards. I think it just has to do with the piece. What character do you or what color do you think it will be? I would assume it's going to go from gold to like a platinum or diamond look, probably like silver stars, I would think. Let's see. Degrees pay to win is just getting worse with the years. I think the pay to win is probably getting worse with the years. Who else thinks that the last Gear 12 police will only available to those in 240 mil well guilds? It'll more than likely be available to 200 mil plus, I would assume, for the first bit. Gear 12 finishers, it sounds like just one more piece. If so, then this last piece will likely be Geo Territory Battle Rewards, so not a big deal in my opinion. My problem is if it's locked to Territory battles, they did say that all future new characters were going into the new Territory battles. So I'm hopefully all the new marquees and stuff aren't just stuffed in there. I'm really more worried about the platoon than anything. Gear 13 will kill this game. I don't think Gear 13 will kill the game. I think it's just going to change a lot. I think that they're going to have to do a new raid, because if you give people Gear 13, that means all of the bonus stats from Gear 12, like the speed and everything, will be calculated in mod bonuses and all that, and the Heroic Sith raid is going to be soloable now. I expect to see Night Sisters do insane damage afterwards. People said RIP Galaxy Heroes with Gear 12 coming. Yeah, I don't think it's RIP. I don't think it's RIP. I don't think it's the end. You know, the Gear 13 is in fact real. If you are wondering, it is in fact real. Let me show you. I'm going to show you the screenshot right here. It's the live Q&A. There it is right there. Gear 12 finishers. IG, you can get your characters at Gear 13. Will be coming with Geonosian territory battles, but there is no level cap increase. This is real. Let's go ahead and refresh and see if we have any further questions. Here we go. We got some more. Okay, will the matchmaking system for Territory War and Grand Arena be altered / improved before championships? Yep, see our post from a few weeks ago, and we'll talk a little bit about more of this in another post before the championships launch. Great. So we got Grand Arena updates incoming. That's very good. Can you add in-game notifications for new Zayas that your guildmates get? That would spark good conversation. We are wary of spamming GameChanger, but this is kind of cool in theory. I'll talk to design about revisiting upgrade notifications. Good answer, good question. Let's see, can you adjust in-game notifications to the time zone of the player? I'm actually not sure. We'll look into it. It could be quality of life fix. Okay, I'm fine with that. Then they haven't answered these ones yet. But for territory battle commands, can you update the in-game alert to show what the new command is? This is great quality of life suggestion. Thank you. Okay. No problem. Let's check and see if we have anything new here. Nothing new there. Let's scroll up. Nothing new on that one. Nothing new on that one. Okay, let's update. I think they're still going through questions. They're still going, guys. Still going. They're doing a very thorough Q&A. Glad to see that. Glad I found this channel. I understand you more than the GameChanger, honestly. Well, to be honest, brother, there's not really any GameChangers anymore. It's just YouTubers at this point. No, I appreciate all the love though that we're getting today. I mean, we've had where are we up to now? Yeah, like 10 different super chats and everything. We've had $35 in donations. We had 300 people watching. With here, we had over 400 people watching. Really appreciate all the love we got going on today. We got the stream going on 2.5 hours now, man. This is some real content here. Wonder if we're going to get any more questions. They seem to be updating them fairly quickly. Okay, where are you going to fix that GA Territory War issue of replacing mods and locked characters, affecting the integrity of the game? This is fixed in the next update. Thumbs up, boys. They are fixing this problem. Nice. Can you make it so you swap all mods from one to another? While this is a really good idea, along with some other load suggestions that have been floating around, has been turned out to be a lot of work and probably isn't something we're going to get to for a while. That's unfortunate. I was really hoping to see that coming. You just got 25 speed mod. Hey, everyone, golf clap for Damien in the chat. Congratulations, sir. Why is the mod system recommending that I add a 4-star mod when I have 5-star of the same type assigned? The mod recommendation system prioritizes set bonuses and primaries before it goes to the number of dots. Okay, so basically the mod system's horrible is what they're saying here. Which honestly just is like bad. Do you know when the next COS event's coming? I would recommend going Gizmo, go to this website. It tends to give you a list of when things are coming, gives you a rough idea. Rambo, my good buddy, Sig Sig. Still updating here, trying to get new questions. Okay, we're still waiting. No problem, Gizmo. How's the chat doing today, man, huh? How are you guys? I've been talking almost nonstop for 2.5 hours here. Me, and when Urs was on here, him too. How are you guys doing? How's the chat doing today, huh? Tell you what, I sure love interacting with the community. I love you subs. You know that. I was telling the wife the other day. It's like, man, I'm like actually growing. You can hear someone's weed whacker. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's Alaska, man. People are outside. I was telling my wife the other day, like, it's so exciting. Like, the channel's growing, it's going well and everything, and like I actually have people to talk to, and pretty good, man. All good. I'm glad to hear it's all good. My vegetarian buffalo here, very spicy. Last one, very hot, very spicy. Last one. No gorilla. No questions about ships. New personal record for the shot put. Nice, man. Big congrats. Big congrats. All right, new questions. How are we doing? Here we go. Here's a new one. I live in Sacramento and want a job at CG working with you all. What skills or experience should I require to increase my chances of being hired? Visit our studio website or jobs.ea.com for jobs that fits your skills or you have the skills to develop, then apply. We are hiring. A lot of people come through QA if you're new to the working world or have no immediate connection to a game. He's saying quality assurance to game industry experience. Finally, you can always play our game while standing in line at the Pachima Coffee in Midtown, and one of us will inevitably be there within a few minutes. It's basically saying apply on the website. Nothing new on that one. Okay, still waiting for... I think to be honest, I think we're going to end it on that bombshell, boys. We know Gear 13's coming. The rest of these, I mean, really they answer everything that really matters. I think we're kind of waiting on them to answer some more like basic ones. We've been covering this pretty good. It's starting to slow down now with their answers. I think we only got a couple more coming. So this is going to end it. Try and make this not too long. But huge, absolute massive shout out to the Well Pod for coming through today. I mean, we got $35 in donations, man. A whole bunch of super chats. That's a big deal for me. I'm working on getting new equipment and capture card and a new mic and stuff. So I really appreciate everything, guys. Thanks for being you, and I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. And I'm going to go do the Patreon stream now, and then I'll probably be doing, I'll probably take a couple hour break, and then I should be doing my Subnautica Below Zero Let's Play Episode 3 for tonight. So a lot of content is coming. Thank you guys very much, and I hope you have a great day.